Are you feeling sad that you were alone on Valentine's Day? Don't feel sad. You're alone.
Coming to you live from the Russian peace talks, Dane Zimmerman, head negotiator for the United States, is meeting right now with Vladimir Putin in person. Here he comes. Ladies and gentlemen, Vladimir Putin live on the air. Mr. Putin, we're curious why you're thinking of supposedly about to invade the Ukraine. Could you just explain your position on that? We noticed 150,000 troops of yours, tanks, weapons, battleship along the Ukrainian border. Please, Mr. Putin, explain to us what you're thinking. You're saying you're not going to invade. What is the meaning of this military buildup along the border of Ukraine?
They're stealing our rock and roll.
So this is about music. Is this about getting Gorky Park back on the map of heavy metal?
Actually, we want Gorky Park to be on more of a blues, but the Ukrainians, they like heavy metal. We want blues.
So Gorky Park has transitioned into a blues band, sort of the way that Pantera transitioned from a glam metal band into a grunge band. Well, not really a grunge band, but like a heavier metal / grungish band. So you're saying Gorky Park has transitioned into a blues band, and now you're saying that this is what this is all about, is to get Gorky Park and their new blues-based music on the map and to wipe out heavy metal in Ukraine, sort of like what Nirvana did in the United States. Is that what you're saying, sir?
Yeah, we're going to keep it at 180 beats a minute. I don't know what the complaint's for.
I was doing 180 beats a minute in the shower this morning, but no one called it music.
All right, here you go, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Putin. Vladimir Putin, everybody. Vladimir Putin. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Dane Zimmerman. Start that beautiful intro music, Johnny. For our head negotiator of the United States, representing the United States, the great Dane Zimmerman of Zim's Guitars, meeting right now, very important meeting with Vladimir Putin. Well said, Dane. Start the music, John. Why did you put me on the air? I was supposed to meet with Anthony Blinken. Why they send me this damn Zimmerman?
Shut up!
Live from the Russian peace talks, American negotiator for the United States, Dane Zimmerman of Zim's Guitars. Dane, how is it going? We just spoke with Vladimir Putin. How is it going over there, in your opinion, representing?
Well, it seems like there hasn't been any changes to the situation over there. Hi, guys.
You can't get him to move his troops at all?
No, there has been no changes so far. It looks like the war is on, starting tomorrow.
That was weird.
Oh, tomorrow's the day. He gave you a definite date?
Yeah, tomorrow's the big day.
Oh, big day.
But
the Olympics.
Glare.
Oh. Well, now that cuffing season's over, I guess that's the most exciting thing going on.
Oh, cuffing season, he says.
Oh, I love being handcuffed.
I like cuffing season, sure.
Welcome to Talking Guitars and 80s Metal Live. And holy sugar, are we live. Ladies and gentlemen, Dane Zimmerman, the great Neanderthal, and Johnny Beane. and Johnny Beane
Thank you.
and Blue Rhino, and I am John Mancuda. Welcome everybody to tonight's
The
show.
Great John Mancuda.
Great. Oh, you meant tonight's flavor of Bang Energy drink. Yes, it is grape. Purple haze to be specific. Yes, purple haze. That is grape. Yes, the grape John Mancuda. My mother almost had a conniption. Great. He's not great. You should see what he did today.
Excuse me while I kiss this guy.
Do-no-no. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Do-no-no.
Yeah, especially on February 15th, day after Valentine's Day.
The big chocolate sale of the century. Today,
Yeah.
half price on chocolate. The day after Valentine's Day, big chocolate sale. Everybody run out and get chocolate.
Paul, let me ask
man.
you, were you sad having to be all alone on Valentine's Day yesterday?
Wow.
No, I'd rather be
Why-
alone
why-
than spending.
why did you-
I'd
why
rather
don't
be
you
alone
sing
than
to
Dad, you're
Battleship?
alone every day.
Paul,
I
Paul,
will-
are you happy being unloved and brokenhearted? How does that feel?
Don't be sad.
Let me tell you two things. A, I'm not fucking financially strapped because I have some succubus fucking draining my bank account every month.
Thank you, Bus.
And B, I'd
I've
rather be
stepped
alone
off
and
in a bus.
alone
That's
and
how I make money.
I'd rather be alone and happy than miserable with somebody. So, I actually have somebody here that wanted me to go out with her Monday night, and we went out like a couple of weeks ago, and she was like all about it. She's all down, DTF, the whole deal. And I was like, nope, not interested, man, especially not going out on Valentine's Day. That's fucking ridiculous. So
Yeah,
no.
my mom was really disappointed in that, Paulie. Why'd you turn her down last night? She was like
Well-
really looking forward to a little Paulie hog there.
Well, because the problem was she expects me to put out, and I'm not that kind of girl.
Well, you're not a cheap date. She knows that.
Right.
She
So there's
knows
that. Yeah. I mean, she really has to wine and dine me. I'm not just a piece of meat, despite what Sharon Wilddollar feels.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. So yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's all good. I mean, it wasn't look, 51 weeks out of the year, I hear everyone that's in a relationship bitching and complaining about how miserable it is and how this person does this and this person does that. And oh my God, she's bust my balls the whole time. And then one day a year, you pay $75 for a dozen roses that cost $8.99 for the other 51 weeks of the year. It's fine. It's fine. You enjoy your fucking Hallmark holiday. Your bullshit Hallmark holiday. Valentine's Day is bullshit. If you love somebody and you're really in a relationship with somebody, it's 365, 24/7. Fuck Valentine's Day. That's the truth.
Yeah. Well, you know
You
what? I love Valentine's Day when I'm in a relationship. I'm not
Sure.
in a relationship, but when I was, no, you know what it was? We'd make it extra special. My ex-girlfriend and I, we would go out and, go on like a vacation and stuff like that. And, big gifts and chocolate stuffing each other's face and whatever. And, but
Fondue.
to some people, I mean, look, I spent it alone this year. Or I spent it alone. I
Spent
spent
it with your
Mama
mother.
Cuda. I spent it
Yeah.
with my mother.
Your mother,
Well,
which is
I was actually-
you should spend some time with your mother.
Yeah, that's all
What's
I
so
do.
wrong
there
about
she
that?
is. There she is.
What's
No,
wrong
look,
about being with your mother?
I wanted to take my mother out for Valentine's Day, and a week went by of, well, do you think this place is open? Oh, they're closed on Monday. How about this place? They're taking reservations. It's only $135 a person. Oh, that's kind of pricey. Maybe I could just eat and share with you. Is there a sharing fee? I don't know. Maybe let's not go to that one. How about this Chinese restaurant I like 6 hours away? Well, we could go there. Oh, but it's snowing. You know what? It's so crowded. And then the night before Valentine's Day, let's do a rain check. Let's do a rain check. We'll do it next week. So next week I'll celebrate Valentine's Day, taking my Valentine Mama Cuda out to dinner somewhere. I don't even know where. She doesn't know where. She's probably researching right now what can break my bank account and give me a good long drive The way that, Paulie gives her a good long drive.
Wait, what?
Ah.
Ah.
Here we are driving. It's me and the woodpecker. We decided to go out with your credit card, John. I hope you don't
Oh.
mind. I mean, I have more of a relationship with a woodpecker than my son. Think about that. At
Well,
least I'm
that's not
getting
very
some
nice.
pecker.
That's not very nice.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. No, look, I hear all year the same thing. Guys come to me and, hey, man, Kuda, what do you think the best way to sneak a guitar in my house is without my wife finding out? I'm like, well, did your wife pay for it? No. You paid for it. Yeah. And it's your house. Yeah. What the fuck say does your wife have on it? Well, she's the wife. I'm like, that's not supposed to be a relationship, man. That sounds like, a kid sneaking cigarettes past his mother at age 9. Just be a man, buy the guitar, walk in with it bold as brass.
Be a man.
Have your dick out when you do. And your wife will say, what the fuck? You're walking with your dick out? I have my bridge club and I bought a new guitar. Ha ha! That's the way to be a man. There you go. And then
Do something
Valentine's
so
Day,
bad that she doesn't even care about the guitar.
Yeah, and then shit on your wife's bridge club table right there.
Wait,
playing bridge.
wait, what?
Just walk over.
No, that's not a good idea.
No,
This
listen,
is
it's a
horrible.
great
This is
idea.
horrible. This is horrible advice.
This is good relationship advice. Be
No,
the man in your
it's really
relationship.
not.
Walk in. Your wife's got her bridge club there, or book club. Walk in
It's really
with
not.
the guitar.
This is not a
Drop
good idea.
trowel and just shit right there on the table, and she'll go, "Oh my God, what the hell?" And I bought a new guitar. And no one will notice the guitar. I promise you. That's the way to do it. That's how to be a man in the relationship.
That's not the way to do it. It's a bad idea.
Yes, it is, Paulie. I'm
Nope,
telling you.
it's a bad idea.
If you were a guitar collector before you got married, you should still be able to collect guitars. But once you get married, then the hobbies she has a 50-50 say in what your new hobbies are.
No, look.
No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. That's such bullshit. I'm not gonna fucking go with that. Sorry, Dan.
I'm not going with that one.
She doesn't get to fucking tell you what your hobbies are. Now, if you guys live together and you're a relationship and shit, and you're thinking about, making some financial expenditures, yes, it is courtesy and courteous to share and make some serious financial decisions, but you don't tell her what she can spend her fucking money on. She has no right to tell you what you spend your money on. Sorry, man. Call him bullshit on that one.
Yeah, I got to agree with that. Seriously.
Yeah.
If I meet a girl right now and she walks in and sees in my house, you have hundreds of guitars here. Yes, I do. You can probably expect I'll be buying more of those and playing around with those and trading those and having fun with those. And it's like, don't be surprised. What? You bought a guitar?
How dare you, sir?
Yes, I bought a guitar. You bought a vibrating rabbit, and I bought a fucking guitar.
Yeah, I actually had somebody just unfriended me on Facebook and blocked me.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. I still love you.
No, I'm actually in Facebook jail right now, but we'll talk about that later. Somebody unfriended me and blocked me on Facebook because I posted, and it's not a humble brag or anything, but I have 2 old motorcycles. One of them is 20 something years old, 25 years old. And the other one is like 16, 17 years old. But I have 2 motorcycles. So I posted a picture of the motorcycles because it was like 80 something degrees here last week. And I was like, yep, got to do the service check on the bikes, make sure all the air, the tire pressure, the oil is clean, all that stuff, because the bikes are going to start getting used now that the weather has gotten good. And this woman wrote, ever hear the phrase, you can't ride 2 horses with one ass? And I wrote back to her, I go, yes, I'm sure. And I basically wrote back to her, yes, I'm sure you only have 1 pair of shoes. And I was blocked immediately for that.
I would have written back to her, well, looking at the size of your ass, it looks like you happen to have 2 asses. So maybe you could help me ride these 2 bikes, one for each of your 2-ton Tessie cheeks.
I could have
saddlebags over here, Helga.
I could have said to her, it's an interesting horse analogy because I need 2 plow horses to pull the carriage to carry your fucking ass from point A to point B. I thought about it, but I went with the very subtle, I'm sure you only have 1 pair of shoes, and even that was too much for her. So if I'd unloaded with both barrels, it would have. I'm guessing my Facebook sentence would have been a little bit longer. but I'm in Facebook jail until about 9 o'clock Arizona time tonight because a friend of mine from high school, very sweet girl, and we've known each other since we were like 13, 14 years old. So she posted, this is the fucked up part about this whole story. She posted, there's like a meme that's a picture of a guy. It's like a guy's from the neck to the midsection. And it says across the chest is the quickest way to a man's heart is through like the second thoracic rib. Right. So I wrote to her and I responded to it. I was like, I thought it was really funny. So I said, in 9th grade, I would have let you stab me. It was a flirty thing on Valentine's Day. Wrote something nice and flirty. She wrote back, "Oh my God, in 9th grade, I never would have done such a thing." And my response is, "Really? Because I would have stabbed you repeatedly." And Facebook didn't see the humor in the double entendre of that, and immediately fucking flagged me and put me in timeout. I appealed it, and they said no. And I'm like, come on, it's fucking sarcasm. I'm like, wait a second. This woman can post a thing about stabbing a guy in the fucking chest, saying the quickest way to a man's heart. And it's, by the way, she got it off of goddamn Facebook. Well, let me get this straight.
You know that at Mark Zuckerberg's house, the minute you posted that, the algorithm set off an old school alarm at his house. Auga, auga, auga. Hold on, honey. Mark drops his Valentine's dinner. He runs to the console, slams the emergency red button, the ban button, like an emergency. There's a little glass shield over it you're supposed to lift. He just smashes right through it. And I think we got him in time.
So fucking stupid. It was like, let me get this straight. Facebook allows political ads where one candidate is literally shooting another candidate. All right. They're having a fucking gunfight. They allow whatever conspiracy theorist, whatever side you want to be on the political spectrum. I don't give a rat fuck. But the point is, they'll allow you to do that. They allow Let's Go Brandon and all the anti-Trump stuff and whatever horrible, 50 Cent, fat shaming 50 Cent. That's okay. We can make fun of 50 Cent because he was into Club Sandwich. We can get into all of that shit. But if I post a double entendre joke about wanting to fuck a good friend of mine, by the way, which is fine, wanted to fuck a good friend of mine when we were in 9th grade, and it was a double entendre about stabbing her, immediately, I'm a fucking jerk. Put him in, he is banished to Facebook jail for 24 hours. And the suck part about it is there isn't even a live person. You can get a live person to do tech support or chat support for fucking anything on the planet, except for when Facebook throws you in Facebook jail. So Zuckerberg, teabag my nuts, you fucking jerk. There goes another 24 hours.
There's the censorship.
This is live on Facebook too.
I don't. Oh, is it? Is it? Are we on Facebook? Fuck you, Zuckerberg! Fuck you! Suck my fucking cock!
Oh my God!
That was the censorship manager that just made a photo appearance. Johnny, can we see him again? Who's in charge of Facebook censorship? There he is. There he is.
By the way, Johnny, I'd like to apologize.
Crosby.
I'd like to apologize for getting you thrown into Facebook jail. Yeah, so if anybody's been trying to get in touch with me on Facebook, and seeing as we're on Facebook right now, if anybody's been trying to get in touch with me on Facebook, that's why I haven't responded to any of your emails, because I've been locked out.
Forget about changing Johnny's lights. You want to change Zuckerberg's lights to full-on red alert or yellow alert. Just keep posting this fun stuff.
Well, and here's the stupid shit. I mean, the sad part about it is, all they have to do, like, it's the weirdest thing. They've got tech support people there. They've got somebody you can chat with and stuff like that. They can look at the history of your page. And in the fucking, how long have we been on Facebook? Almost 20 years, right?
Almost 20 minutes so far. We're about to get thrown off in a minute.
No. My point is, Facebook's been around for like 20 years. In all the years I've been on Facebook, you can go back and look at my history. There's never been a history of me threatening anybody. There's never been. It's clearly a double entendre joke, and she fucking started it. This is a great example.
You've been radicalized, Paulie.
Clearly,
love radicalized. Women have this effect on you. especially that woman Helga. You should have said to her, you know what? I'm hitching up the Clydesdale to a plow with a razor on it. We're coming to mow your vagina right now. Get you some scaping there. Get your fat twat.
Yeah, they have
smooth.
They have no problem with my business page. They have no problem with my radio pages and making money off of me as a broadcast professional. But God help me if I make a joke to a friend of mine who, by the way, I'm still talking to right now. I'll read you the fucking chat we're having right now, which was, I wrote back to her, I go, it's truly funny. Facebook doesn't see the symbolism in stabbing equals fucking. And so I'm in timeout until later on. I go, at least you're smiling. It's worth it. She wrote, well, considering I found the meme on Facebook, I went, right. It's okay if I let you stab me, but if I want to stab you, forbidden. Even if it was in 9th grade. She goes, 9th grade, I was innocent. You were still hot. And she goes, thanks. Good thing I didn't realize how adorable I was back then. I said, nah, I was too big of a pussy to ever say anything. I'm almost weirded out by saying anything now. She goes, we were all awkward and the conversation was difficult. And then my last thing was stabbing you was probably what I would have said anyway.
You know what's really funny is Zuckerberg probably made that meme himself 20 years ago and just forgot about it. He's like, oh, wait, was that one of mine? What a funny coincidence.
Well, I don't know what movie. I don't remember what movie I was quoting, but it was a long chain of quotes, movie quotes, as is often the case on Facebook. And somebody wrote something about it. And I did the quote that I used, and it's killing me that I can't remember the movie, because why quote a movie if you don't remember it? But it was I'll fill you so full of lead you'll have to use your dick as a pencil.
I'm sorry. Did you bring up my dick? Was this
conversation involving? Always ask the chat.
Whatever. I forget what movie it was, but I think I forget what it was. But I'll fill you so full of lead you'll have to use your dick as a pencil. So I posted that on the chat as one of the quotes. I got fucking flagged for it. I appealed it to Facebook, and they went, "You're right. That was a quote from a movie. We took it out of context." I'm like, "Right. This is the exact same fucking thing. You took it out of context. I didn't literally mean." By the way, what am I going to do? This girl is in Massachusetts, and I've known her since I was 14. I'm going to fly 3,000 miles east and fucking plunge a knife into her chest 35 years ago?
Paul's next line to her would have been, "I'm going to take the cannolis."
It was so fucking stupid. But so that's my frustration with social media. And you don't really even know what it's like. Prison changes a man. The struggle is real.
Tell me about it. My farts are really quiet now. And anytime I drop the soap, I'm like, oh right, I'm alone.
Did you type that quote in, Johnny, to find out what movie it was from?
No,
Johnny didn't know. It's like cannolis.
No, I'm actually going to look it up now.
I don't know.
I'm actually going to Google that.
So was this like in a public? Was this under a meme on her page, or was this?
Yeah, it was on her page. No, it was on her page. She put this meme up on Facebook that she found on fucking Facebook. How is it okay for you to put a meme that advocates fucking plunging a knife into a guy's heart and by the way, this is all on Valentine's Day. I also did post a cute little meme of like some guy dressed, it says, "More romance, please." Like, it was clearly, the whole fucking conversation was clearly a goof. And for whatever reason, the algorithms just grabbed it and knocked me the fuck out for it for the first time. And I told her, like, congratulations, you're my first Facebook jail sentence.
They're watching you, Paul. For some reason, they got their eyes on you.
Maybe the men in black they've realized that I'm a threat to the United States of America.
Well, clearly they're fans of this show. So
yeah,
they're all watching it right now.
Say that stuff, man. Like, you know that.
What did Paul say?
I didn't say anything. I accused Facebook. I didn't say anything inflammatory. Yes, because I don't know how many. Well, this is exactly like when I went to the hockey game like a month ago. I went to the hockey game and I ride a motorcycle, so I have a wallet chain. It's a small wallet chain. It's like that fucking long. It's not even, you've seen it. It's not like I wear a hipster Zach Wild fucking stupid boat anchor. It's your typical wallet chain. So I get there to the front gate and they're going through the security check, and the woman goes, "You're gonna have to bring that back to your car." I said, "Are you out of your fucking mind? I said, can you give me one example of a man hijacking a hockey arena and taking it to Cuba with a wallet chain? I go, the fucking strap on that woman's handbag is more deadly than the chain I have in my pocket. Why do we have a John Biel thing there?
Because he's wearing chains.
Oh, okay. Random John Biel. Yeah, random John Biel thing.
He got in.
I was like,
he's on stage.
Yeah, super fucking weird.
Photo from the Monsters of Rock cruise? Is that what that's from? That looks like a photo from the recent cruise.
Yeah.
So Paul, you did nothing on Valentine's Day. It was just you. Right?
No, that's what I did. I got suspended from Facebook.
He got thrown into Facebook jail.
That was all right. So you had a productive day, and I played the restaurant shuffle with Mama Kuda, while everyone else just sent me. Everyone else just sent me hatred mail. I never loved you, man, Kuda. You were the worst lay I ever had. And I said, Ma, please at least say something nice to me today. Don't.
By the way, I just Googled it, and I can't believe I couldn't remember the movie. Three Amigos. Three Amigos.
Oh,
it's when Steve Martin, when Steve Martin, when they all have the guns at him, and Steve Martin goes, "I'll fill you so full of lead, you'll have to use your dick as a pencil."
Wow.
Oh, pencil dick.
I can't believe I fucking forgot what movie it was. But yeah, so there you go.
Johnny, what did you do anything interesting for Valentine's Day?
I don't celebrate Valentine's Day. I celebrate Van Halentine's Day.
Van Halentine's
You
Day.
fucking nerd.
So what did you do?
That's what I do.
So what did you do?
I just posted memes. That was it.
All right. Yeah, and your wife went off on a date? What happened?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're in a relationship. You're Matt. Paul and I are bachelors.
Yeah.
We're like, Paul and I are going to be Joe Millionaire, the next Joe Millionaire. And it's like the butler is going to go, one of these men is not a millionaire and the other one is not.
I was just going to say, one of these men is not a millionaire and the other one is full of shit.
It's full of shit saying he is.
I can't imagine why. I just don't have pussy dripping off of me right now. I can't.
I do, but it's of the cat that I have pussy dripping off of me, but it's of the cat that got hit with an icicle on my roof.
Nope, can't imagine. Can't imagine why I'm not just swimming in ass right now.
Well, Helga's available.
Yeah. So yesterday I.
Oh, hi, Dane.
About 3 or 4 in the afternoon.
Well,
I'm
he
at
was
my store
next.
here. I texted the girlfriend. I said, "Hey, happy Valentine's Day." I just put "Happy Valentine's Day," and
great story.
I didn't hear anything from her. Went home at about my normal time, 6 o'clock. Looked around for the girlfriend. I thought maybe we'd go to dinner or something. I opened up the bedroom door. She's in there watching Netflix or something. I'm like, "It's Valentine's Day. Let's at least go to dinner or do something." No, you've ruined all my Valentine's Day. I don't want to go and do any of that.
Boy, I missed that.
Okay, and I closed the door and on with my life.
Maybe, yeah. Boy, I really missed out on that opportunity. John, didn't you? Boy, Valentine's Day was so lonely. I wish I could have had an experience like that.
I miss getting no pussy too. I mean,
hi. I had the only bitch in the world. I had the only bitch in the world that matters. Lemmy. Hi, baby girl.
Oh, there she is.
Baby girl. Hi, baby. You're a good girl. Such a good dog. She's a good baby girl. She's the only one I need. Right, baby? Yeah.
What about Ace? What has he chewed up lately? Is he getting in trouble?
I put Ace.
Yeah, he got a new guitar. And he shit in the house and Paul didn't notice.
I put Ace in his crate for a while so Lemmy could feel free to run around. Well, not run, but waddle around the house without feeling like he was going to nip at her, because he nips at her and wants to play, and it makes it very difficult for her to enjoy what limited movement she has. So every once in a while he has to, and he's cool with it because I've already taken him for a walk and thrown the ball, and he's tired. So I put him in his crate for a nap so that she can have, solo time. Because every time she tries to come over and get attention, he comes over and fights because he's a bitch like that. So she's a good girl.
Nice.
Awesome.
But so 80's metal, guitars.
Well, let's a half hour in. Let's say hello to our executive producers, the people who made this this Valentine's Day discussion possible. Let's say hi to Dave Ennis, Vinyl Freak 5150, Mike Neese, Music Therapy Laz, Majestic PB and J Cat, Wayno, False Flag, Sherman Callahan, Andy Carson, Michael B, R Habs, Warlag, the Chad, Lawrence Christensen, Linny Lou, and my little geriatric sex kitten Mary. And I hope you guys are feeling good. I haven't heard from you, so I'm hoping you guys are feeling better, healing up from the virus. James Gum, John Moronic, Paul Martin Woods, Stephen Franklin, Michael, the Captain Smith, Thomas Santiago, Joe Christian, Jimmy Ray Hawkins, David Allen Wright, and Steve Carmichael.
Steve Carmichael. You guys are awesome. That's top tier of channel membership here on Johnny Bean TV. And if you're not ready for channel membership, any super chats will change actually, it'll stop the changing of colors. It's kind of the opposite now. But if you'd like to get a hold of us anytime, especially Kurt with a C, 415-952-3263. And as far as I know,
why don't you get him his own hotline, like a red phone, like they do on the Batman TV show, where it's a direct line from Batman to Commissioner Gordon. You just get you get one for Kurt, one for False Flag. You'll have like a line of phones. It'll look like the Jerry Lewis telethon.
Yeah, I guess I could.
Johnny will have this bank of phones.
Johnny loves it when you call during the show. During the show is the best time to call.
Yes, definitely.
We love phone calls. And as far as I know, we're still live on Facebook.
You might be in Facebook jail.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Today may be the torpedo in the Facebook.
Sorry, not sorry.
That's Mark Zuckerberg right now.
Kind of need
Mark
somebody to screen
right
these
now
calls for him.
Yeah. Hey, you're on the air.
Hey, this is Kurt with a K.
Hey, Kurt with a K.
Listen.
How you doing?
We're listening.
Good. Listening to Dane's sob story. I'm going to put some lights in an armoire at my house and start a FundMe for Dane to get a girlfriend.
Ouch.
It's going to take more than money.
No, it really isn't.
He deserves it.
Yeah, you might be right. Some money might.
All that
a little
hard
bit
work
of money
he
might
does,
help.
that happy face of his, he deserves it.
Yeah.
So Dane, we love you.
Yeah, Dane.
We're going to start a fund. We'll buy you a woman. I'll get one from another country.
One of those, I kind of got my eye on one of those robotic ones.
All right.
Oh,
Well, you
nice.
guys have a great show. I'm watching
A
while I cook my
robot.
wife dinner.
Oh,
Yes, exactly. That's how that works.
Thank you,
awesome.
Kurt.
I want a
Thank you,
robot woman.
All right, carry on.
All right, bye-bye.
We'll raise up enough money to get Dana's robot woman. It'll be Rosie from the Jetsons.
Jesus.
No, it's really funny. The Super Bowl had this one commercial of this robotic dog chasing a guy in an electric car, and he's in love and everything. We're going to have a commercial next year of this robotic woman seeing Dane all lonely and driving away, and she'll be chasing him up the road, you know?
Creepy.
Man. Well,
Nice.
Getting creepy.
Speaking of guitars and stuff, Dane,
Yeah.
when did you get that amp next to you? Did you have that last time, the 5150 combo?
Huh? What?
5150. This is the brand new
Dude.
5150, the iconic.
Yes.
Sitting right here. And this belongs to a buddy of mine. This belongs to Neil.
You
He
stole
just
it?
picked this thing up, and he wants me to play through it and see what I think. And so far, it's kicking ass. It's 40 watt, and you can turn it down to 10 watts. But one thing that I like about it, it has a noise gate. So when you're in the dirty channel and you're up real loud, you turn your guitar volume down. The normal noisy channel on every amp is just like shh, a huge hiss, right? This has the built-in noise gate where that hiss just goes right away. So I've only messed with it for a few minutes, but super cool. I got the matching shirt.
We got We got to get you a girlfriend with a noise gate.
Yeah.
Dane, you ruined my. I'm sorry, honey. What did you say? You ruined my. Nice.
Oh my gosh.
The shirt's cool too.
Yeah. Yeah. Looking great, man.
Yeah. So
I like all the
I'll,
EVH.
I'll play through it, try to get to know it, make a YouTube video for my channel in the next couple of days, and then give it back to Neil.
Did you guys see my? Did you
I
guys
got to
see
experiment with it.
How much are those?
I think they're like $8.99.
Now you're
No,
quiet.
Very cool, man.
Give it about a year or two, and you'll get them for $6. Wait a couple years. They are made in China. There's been a little bit of, oh my God, would Eddie have wanted any of his products to be made in China?
Eddie
What's
got
the
a lot
profit
of
margin?
vagina.
I know.
Oh, wait.
What's the profit margin?
I talked to my Fender.
Eddie was an
rep.
idiot.
I talked to my Fender rep, and he goes, you know what? I think Eddie would have been just fine with the fact that these are made in China. And I'm like, I don't know.
They sound great. They sound great.
Really
I've played one.
From the just the 5 minutes I played through it, it melted my ears.
Where are the other ones
really
made?
loud.
Where are the
In
other
fact,
ones made?
I've seen people do reviews.
Mexico and
Yeah,
USA.
yeah. I've seen people do reviews of those where they actually prefer those over the original PVs.
Which is nonsense.
I love Kirk 5150's idea. Cobra Kai, let's get a cartoon going of Dane getting a robot woman.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I found I had a 5150 half stack for a couple of years. Loved it, but there's only so much overdrive you can do. Other than the sick overdrive on those amps, I don't see the huge appeal. The cleans are no better than a Fender, Princeton or any of the other great Fender amps. It really is an amplifier for distortion playing. If you want to fucking drive the shit out of an amp, that 5150 is the way to go. But if that's that, it really is a one-trick pony. It's a great trick, but it's one trick. The overdrive channels are insane on them. But other than that, I don't know that it is appreciably better than, a Mesa or a Marshall or a Fender. It really is. If you're going for a certain sound and a certain amount of, it's the great metal amp. That's what it is. But it's not the most versatile amp in the world. It does what it does very well. And that's okay. You don't buy, you don't buy an Explorer to play fucking country on. You know what I mean? You buy the right tool for the job. And if you want to drive an amp that gives you a shitload of distortion, that's the one.
All these companies, they put new products out every year or two, and it's fun to experiment with them.
Yeah.
But again, the shit that they did 10 or 20 years ago is, it was just as good then or better. Sometimes new products get worse. Sometimes they get better.
Well, that's one of the
noise gate though.
That's one of the arguments that people make about guitar making back then versus guitar making now. Guitar making and amplifier making now, quality, consistency is way, way more regular because the manufacturing techniques, I know that automation puts people out of work and I think it sucks, but automation also makes specs finite. If you set a computer to cut something to a certain spec, it's going to be that spec every time. Human beings, there's a margin for error. Now, there's something to be said for that. That's why some of those old guitars are handmade, and we love the fact that they're handmade and the hand tooling, and whoever the luthier is at the time that built the guitar, there's something
hand
special
tooling.
about that. There's something special about that. But I would say that guitar manufacturing and amplifier manufacturing today, on the whole, is significantly more consistent and significantly better quality than it was back then, because technology has advanced to the point where you're dealing with a technological piece of musical equipment as opposed to an acoustic guitar. Acoustic guitars that are handmade, that's like an artisan's work. That's like somebody building furniture. It's a piece. But a piece of electronics the way manufacturing and soldering and the way components are built now, capacitors and all the things that come with it, the fuses and the circuit boards and the motherboard, it's all way better now than it was back in the day.
The machine that built this amp is way better than this actual amp.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's the same thing. You know, we can record an album that sounds like, you know, Queen's Night at the Opera with an iPhone now. The technology has just advanced to the point where it's just easier, simpler, and more consistent. Quality control. And even if the quality is not as long lasting as something that is a vintage piece of equipment, the cost of replacement for a new piece of equipment versus the amount of maintenance for a 50-year-old vintage piece of equipment, it all works out in the end. It's cheaper to replace that amp than it is to maintain, you know, a 61 100-watt, you know, lead 100 or whatever it is.
Yeah, trying to find parts and then someone who actually understands how to work on those.
Yeah.
That's a whole different story.
Yeah,
it depends what you like. I mean, look, you could get a modeling amp and, you know, say, oh, it's just as good as a Plexi. It's not as good as a Plexi, but if that's your cheaper route and that's something you're willing to, you know, sacrifice a little bit of soul to get, you know, the mechanical aspect of, you know, less maintenance and less expense, that's your trade-off right there, you know?
And you guys were talking about the first couple of Kiss albums. Think about if Kiss would have recorded those first couple of Kiss albums through this amp.
Well, and the technology, and
how
they had.
badass would that be?
Well, we really don't want to do anything made in China because Kiss is a band made in New York.
How important would it? I mean, how much money would it cost us? Would it have been cheaper to do it that way? Because I would have done it.
Well, of course, we would take an endorsement fee a little bit, just a tiny little nominal one. Gene, what do you think?
Nominal fee.
Yeah, because Kiss probably used JCM 800s, turned halfway up. It's almost like clean tones is what they were using.
You can't, excuse me. I challenge you to listen to a piece of music.
Fight.
No. I challenge you to listen to a piece of music and tell me definitively what guitar was played through what amplifier and what effects definitively. You wouldn't know the difference. You can't tell. As long as it sounds good, this is the old Eddie Van Halen phrase, as long as it sounds good, it is good. So if you listen to a song and it comes out, you put that CD or digital file, whatever it is, how you choose to listen to music, vinyl, you put it on and you hear it and it sounds good, and it was recorded with a piece of shit Indonesian cheap Squire through a little, a pig nose, or that, through an amp, a free modeling amp rig program that you got off of Two Cows or whatever it is that you want to do. As long as it sounds
by hamsters on a wheel,
as long as it sounds good, who gives a shit?
Yeah, and you never know what somebody actually used. They could tell you anything
because they're an endorsee.
Because of the power of mastering, and you can make anything sound amazing.
If you listen to an old album, though, you can tell a Les Paul through a Marshall. You can tell a Strat.
But you can approximate. You can approximate that now.
Yeah.
You can approximate that now.
Everything's on auto tune, and digital, faking, and modeling and stuff like that. I mean, look. I've said this on the show many times before. My personal favorite amp is a GK ML 250. It's the little lunchbox amp, whatever it is, 100 watts or whatever, in this big a package. But to me, it sounds great. It's a solid state amp. And I have a Marshall Silver Jubilee. I have an Orange. I have, some cool amps. But my personal favorite tone comes out of that little solid state lunchbox. And, some guys used it for small club shows or practice amps. I know Kiss was a fan of it, whatever. But, look, you like what you like. And today's technology, you can mimic a lot of tones.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I love playing through, as long as I have a decent reverb and noise gate in front of it. I love playing through. I have Marshall Lead 12 microstack, solid state microstacks, which are basically a fucking 12-watt amp through two 10-inch speakers that sound outstanding. They sound great. Now, I would record with them and have no problem recording with them, and they would sound fantastic, dropping a mic in front of them, and or you can just go direct with a friggin' head rush, mini micro effects unit and get the same sound. Most people can't tell the difference. Now, that said, there is something about, a Stratocaster in the second and fourth position. That tone. There's something about the sound of a Les Paul in the neck position. You can feel that tone. You can hear it with your ears. But that said, I could grab an Epiphone and run it direct with no effects whatsoever, and in post-production, add the effects and the EQ and all of the things that needed to make it sound like Jimmy Page on Led Zeppelin 2. I mean, the technology, this goes back to what we're saying. Technology has made it so. Does it feel the same? No. Does it sound the same? Abso-fucking-lutely. I challenge you to tell me anything different. But if they sound, but if you enjoy, again, it's the difference between producing music for the ear and playing music with your hands. There's certainly a difference between a $2,500, I'll use Les Paul because it just happens to be the name that goes in my head all the time, $2,500 Les Paul and a $69 Glary. They feel differently. But once that sound is down on tape in post-production, you can make them sound identical.
You can
look,
you can make the piece of crap sound way better.
Yeah.
If you're walking into Norm's and he's like, "Hey, I got a 59 Les Paul Burst, and do you want to play it through this beautiful vintage plexi?" Yes, please. And you'll hear it in person, like the soul of the guitar and the amp and the, blow your mind. But yeah, look, if you're talking recording wise in post-production, like we say in the movie industry, everything comes out in post, we'll fix it in post. We'll change it in the mix. Yeah, you could do that. But look, glad that you dig that amp so far. Yeah. That's it. Your review is positive so far, right, Dan?
But the reviews are all over.
I had it going. It was like, wow, killer.
The reviews are. I'm asking Dane. Dane's review. Dane likes it so far,
right? And if you like it, that's all that matters.
Yeah, Johnny, you've played one of these too.
I've played the top, the head. I haven't played the combo yet.
Okay,
but I'm sure it's amazing. I mean,
sure it is.
Like I said, there's people out there saying that the new Iconic beats the old Peavey.
If that's how they feel, if they feel good about it, I bet you there's somebody else who says that, like John was saying, his GK crushes a Marshall Plexi. It's whatever feels good to your ears. Yeah.
For what I like.
Yeah.
Which is, obviously 80s hair metal. For what I like, that's the sound. And again, I'm biased because that was like my first amp. So that's my particular tone. So when you hear me butchering songs through that amp, it sounds better than if I butchered those songs through another amp to me. But yeah, I mean, I don't have a Marshall because I don't like it, or Marshalls because I don't like them. I do. Just my personal favorite amp for my sound, for playing in my living room when I do, which is my whole audience. That's the tone I like. That's the amp I enjoy plugging through when I'm sitting there and I'm like, there's my Silver Jubilee and there's my orange next to it and there's my GK next to it. I'm like, I'm going to plug into the GK more often than not.
And it's an interesting thing. This is an admission. The older I get, the more I prefer clean guitar straight to amp sounds. I know that sounds weird, but I have no problem. I got an old JCM.
Wait,
900.
Paul, are you talking clean tones? Or are you talking no effects pedals?
All of the above. Going in, this SG, this SG direct into my Marshall JCM 900 2x12 50-watt combo. Drive the channel a little bit, heat those tubes up, drive the channel a little bit. I enjoy that tone more because it's in your finger. I enjoy that tone more now.
That guy.
I'm older. I'm older now, and so I don't. distortion has a tendency to hide sloppy playing.
That's why I play with a lot of
Eddie Van Halen.
No, you know what though? Eddie, yeah, but Eddie didn't drive it 100%. You'll notice Eddie, when he cleans up, when he turns his volume down, he cleans up, it's still in his fingers. He still gets that. It still sounds like Eddie.
He really wasn't distorted.
There's
Not
no
that
way I
much,
can rip it on that guy.
except in the late 90s when, obviously the Van Halen 3, I don't know what was going on with Eddie's hearing, or maybe it's just his health was not in the best place. His guitar was way overdriven and did not sound like Eddie Van Halen. It was a little too much. It was a little too hot. But the point being, I would rather hear the SG straight into an amp, drive the channel a little bit, throw a little reverb on it now than when I was 20. When I was 20, it was like, give me my ADA MP1 and drive the shit out of it and put this on it and put that flanger on it, put all that shit. Now I'd rather sit back and just listen to the guitar and the wood of the guitar resonate. And I think that's an age thing. I think as you get older, you realize, okay, I can play distorted and I can make any guitar sound any way that I want through any amp that I want. Now I want to play something different.
I don't even plug in. I play.
I rarely plug in.
Just like this.
Yeah.
Just because you can really hear what you're doing.
Yeah, and you can't be sloppy.
No.
Because if you clam a note, on when it's acoustic, you're fucked.
Yeah,
but it also depends on what guitar you're playing, because there are some I have set up that's so low that it's like slightly buzzing, and you won't hear it like playing through an amp, but you will hear it acoustically.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's if you got your action set that low, and that is what it is.
Only on a couple of guitars I have it like that, but the ones I do.
Yeah. But it also,
it used to be cool. Artists used to be able to create their own sound back in the day. You had the guy in Queen had his own sound. Nowadays,
but that's in the fingers too.
Yeah, I know, but AC/DC had their own guitar sound. Black Sabbath came up with their own guitar sound.
But also, you're talking about a lot of guys that were a long time ago.
Nobody has their own signature
when that stuff was brand new
sound any longer.
Because everything's been done. There's nothing new.
No.
Every tone has been done.
You're just trying to make what has already been out there for the last 40 years, maybe a little bit better here and there, but nobody's come out with their new signature sound that is 100% different than everybody you've ever heard of. Yeah. So all we do nowadays is try to recreate older guys' tones.
Create older guys' tones as older guys.
Raven Soda's in the chat asking me to sell my Pete Freeze and BC Rich Mockingbird. No. I love that guitar. I've chased that guitar for years. Yeah, no, I'm not selling. Speaking of guitars, tonight's show and tell guitar clue, because of course I have a cool show and tell guitar for you guys. It's something to do with tone. In fact, it's two very distinct tones. There's your clue.
Double neck, huh?
Two tones.
I don't know. Tone.
What was the clue again? I fell asleep.
It's two very different, very distinct tones. Wow. Mama Kuda saw the guitar earlier and she's like, what's going to be your clue for that one? I'm like, I don't know. I'll think it up on the fly. Well, make sure you fly a zipper today. That was very embarrassing.
It's interesting. Craven Soda says you're saying the older you get, the less gain you use. Not necessarily, but I think the more attention you pay to actual tone shaping and dynamics versus just driving the shit out of a guitar. I mean, yeah, anybody can plug a guitar into any amp and just dime the thing and jam, and it's going to sound fucking cool. But it's when you clean up. It's when you clean up something like that. Like when you're, I don't know, a great example is, it's an old video, but when you watch Jimmy Page with Led Zeppelin in 1970 at the Royal Albert Hall, and he's doing his guitar solo, and a lot of it has It's Black Waterside, which is a song by Burt Jantz, and a couple other things. And he's jamming and he's just fucking shredding through the thing. And then he stops and he turns his volume down and he starts playing a little bit of like Beethoven, classical, picking a little bit of like classical Beethoven in there. And you go, oh, like that's cool. It's a nice little, the dynamic change is special. Or when Eddie Van Halen would do, you know, Cathedral. You know, that's not distorted. It certainly has some effects on it, but it's not distorted. The cool part about it is the dynamics in it. And I think that a lot of the dynamics are lost with, and by the way, with a lot of new metal, everything is just compressed to shit. And so you don't get a lot of the dynamics in that. I mean, I love Mark Tremonti as a player, and I think Alter Bridge is a cool band, but Jesus Christ, it's fatiguing on your ears listening to a whole Alter Bridge album from start to finish. And that's not just Miles over singing everything. I mean, it's just everything is so dimed to the ceiling of the audio spectrum. That's why I love listening to Jimmy on an acoustic guitar or Zakk Wylde on an acoustic guitar, because clearly Zakk is a guy that uses way too much overdrive and way too much distortion and pinch harmonics. But when you put a 12 string in his hands and he starts playing real mellow stuff, you know, like Dwayne Allman shit, it's great. It's really fun to listen to.
How awesome was that, though, the first time you heard Zakk doing all those pinch harmonics? It was
Thank you, Sherman.
What was that noise?
I think
super cool.
I think No Rest for the Wicked is Ozzy's most underrated record.
Oh, it's
the record
a great one.
It saved his career. I mean, songs like Crazy Babies and Miracle Man and Fire in the Sky and, you know, Bloodbath in Paradise, Demon Alcohol, those are fantastic songs.
Crazy!
That saved Ozzy's career.
I love that album.
It's one of my favorite Ozzy albums, if not my favorite overall Ozzy album.
I don't know, man. You know, we've talked about this before. Picking a favorite Ozzy album is so hard. I mean, it depends on, like, you know, which guitarist, because you have Zakk, you have Jake, you have Randy, of course. You know, you could get into the Black Sabbath stuff if you really want to. I mean, there's just so much, an abundance of good choices there that you really can't be wrong. You know, I've said this before. My favorite Ozzy album is Ultimate Sin. And that's, you know, again, I guess the timing of growing up with it. And, you know, that was my first one. And I just love that album. I love Jake. But yeah, I mean, I love obviously the Randy stuff. I love Zakk stuff.
I think we can all agree that the Gus G record was garbage, though, right?
I was okay with it.
I never heard it.
I didn't think it was the greatest compared to the other major
it's his weakest
slingers
album
he had out there. I didn't think he measured up. I thought it was a decent album.
I never heard it, but my only experience with Gus G is I was at NAMM one time, and they brought him in to take photos of him in front of his, you know, John, they have those huge displays with the artists sometimes. And so they bring him in to take pictures of him in front of that, and he looked like he didn't want to be there at all. You know, so that was my only time seeing him, and I've never heard his record. No,
at least he didn't bowl you over like Phil Collins. That'd be really funny if, like, every artist's thing was to, like, you know, beef into Johnny Beane. Like, you know, Tracy Guns walks by. Hey, fellas, hold on a sec. That's Johnny Beane. There you go, Beane. That's like the new thing at NAMM is like well-known guitar players. Is that Tracy now?
It's somebody.
I know who
that
it
would
is.
be awesome, though. That would be cool if
that would be really funny. It's like it's like a rite of passage at NAMM.
I was known as the guy that everybody bumps into.
Yeah, you're the
right.
That'd be really funny.
Is that right? Who is this?
It's Kurt with a C.
Kurt with a C. We had Kurt with a K earlier.
Oh, did you? How's it going?
Great.
Oh, I just had to make a comment for Paul in agreement with him earlier. And this isn't a knock on when he was talking about Miles Kennedy from Alter Bridge over singing everything. It's like, I wanted to ask him if he agrees with me on this. He's a great singer, but it's like after half a song, it's like enough already. But
yes,
but it's not a knock because he's fantastic. But he just goes. It's just I don't even know how to explain it. He's so good, but it's like you almost want him to just take it down 15%.
No, you're absolutely right. Miles Kennedy is arguably one of the 3 greatest rock vocalists in the game right now, along with Richie Kotzen and Jay Buchanan from Rival Sons. That said, just because you can doesn't mean you should. It's the Yngwie Malmsteen effect. We get it. You can fucking sing. You've got a great voice. Like Christina Aguilera used to do it. A couple of these other people, can do it. And at that point, you say to yourself, enough with the vibrato. We know you've got a shitload of range. Sing. Just sing. Be great. Be a great singer. And Miles is a great singer. It's just too much sometimes. It's like listening to a Primus record, too. Same thing. In small doses, fantastic. But if you listen to, like, Before Tomorrow Comes from Alter Bridge's Blackbird record, what a magnificent vocal performance. What a magnificent song. But Christ, man, take it down a notch. Just a little bit.
Kurt 5150. Uncle Leo!
I love Ricky Warwick as well.
Yes.
Hellstorm just brought John Corabi and Ricky Warwick into it. I love Ricky Warwick's voice as well. Miles is a fantastic singer, but he sings too much, too soon, too often. In my opinion.
Slash is actually in town tonight.
Go get him.
Singing? Is he singing?
No, Miles is singing.
Oh, I'm talking to Sims. He didn't stop in the store on his way.
No, he didn't stop in.
I thought he would have bought that guitar you showed last week, that double cut import, that orange one. I thought Slash would have been like, we have to take a detour and go to Zim's Guitars. That one I saw on Talking Guitars and 80s Metal Live, we got to get that one. I need that in my collection. I thought he would have done that.
Yeah,
because
that
he was trying to call
Primus
during the show, and he's like, "No one's picking up. I don't understand it. I'm Slash. What the? All right, let's just drive there. We'll drive there while we're on tour."
Paul's got a guitar that Slash would want.
Yeah, I do.
I'll bet he does.
Yeah, he would want my Max. Absolutely.
He would.
Answering question for Wayno in the chat. It's called Before Tomorrow Comes on Blackbird. It's the second Alter Bridge record. And it's just proof that Alter Bridge can't write a hit because it's
Tomorrow
a hit
better
song.
wipe it up.
It's a hit song. It's a fantastic song. Unfortunately, nobody cared. I don't get it. I don't get why a song that good. It's well written. It's well sung. It's got a great hook. It's got a great guitar solo, and it didn't pop. And I don't know why.
Pop.
Slash is on tour Vistalite 1972. He's touring for his new record 4. Slash never takes time off the road because he has a huge
85% of his life he's on the road. He loves that lifestyle.
And he also has a huge nut to pay for his divorce.
And he has a huge nut to bust in every groupie backstage. So be sure to go see Slash.
You know what? Slash is not that guguy, man. He's not.
I am.
Like, Slash is not that decadent.
I need to hang out with Slash more. Hey, Mancuda, you know what? Can you take this girl off my back? Sure.
If he was like that, I don't think he would have survived all these years.
Yes, I mean, yeah.
Well, he was more into the substance abuse than getting laid.
Slash was a partier.
Here's the thing. In the 80s, you were like usually into either, getting high and getting drunk, or you were into getting laid. Some guys were into both, but then it was like, they're like passed out, and some groupies looking like, well, whose dick am I going to suck now? And,
he just plays guitar now. He's like Eddie Van Halen. He's like some of those other guys. When he's not on stage, he's backstage with a guitar. I mean, he really is one of those guys. That's really all he does. Guitars and reptiles. That's his thing, man. He likes going to reptile stores and seeing snakes and fucking lizards and shit like that, and playing guitar. And good for him. He's awesome, and couldn't be a nicer guy.
Yeah, no, Slash is a cool guy, and yes, Keith Campbell, 20 years sober.
Mm-hmm.
That's very cool to hear.
He's also got a pacemaker.
Not as cool as the sober part, but hey, that's maybe he's got that's the secret of his tone. He gets a little feedback from it, and he's like, "Hey, wait a minute."
Wow. I didn't know that.
You didn't know he had a
that'd be-
pacemaker?
That'd be really neat.
Oh yeah, yeah. He had some heart problems a while back. If you look, he's got a little scar in his chest. He had a pacemaker put in. Yeah, that'll happen when you do mounds and mounds and mounds of cocaine for a decade. Your heart tends to go, fuck this, fuck this, fuck this.
Goodbye.
Yeah, listen, no one makes a pacemaker look cool like Slash does. Wilfred Brimley did, but rest in peace, our beloved Wilfred. And David Crosby, not as cool. Not as cool. I'm sorry.
James Stewart with the question: Have you been offered
Mecker? MEHKER. Mecker.
Have you been offered payola, and does it still exist? Payola absolutely still exists, and if I were ever offered it, I wouldn't fucking admit to it. I'm not saying I have been, but I'm saying if I were, I wouldn't fucking admit to it because it's
like
illegal
the
as
mob
fuck.
that doesn't exist.
If you got to wonder where some of those trips come from. You could win a trip to go see Ozzy in London. If you don't think somebody paid for that trip for promotional consideration, payola is legal as long as it's announced. True story. If you announce, hey, we're doing this, here's the new song from Slash, thanks to Gibson Records. Gibson Records can pay for that spin. It just has to be declared. Payola has always existed. Promotional consideration provided by. You've heard that on game shows. You hear it on award shows all the time. Promotional consideration provided by American Airlines. That means they flew all the fucking stars into LA for the Oscars. That's payola. It's in exchange of goods and services in exchange for promotional consideration. And it absolutely exists.
I just want
I thought you were talking about peyote.
I just want everyone to know that Kith never does payola.
Right. And it exists in every industry. If you think that those Doritos are sitting at eye level at the end cap at your local supermarket is just placement, just that seems like a good place for them. Bullshit. They paid for it.
Jimmy, put those Oreos anywhere on the shelf. Okay, boss.
Yeah.
No. They're at eye level from this 6 foot mark to that 6 foot mark.
Yep.
These two shelves specifically center of the aisle. You bet.
You're watching your favorite television show and your favorite star is holding a drink just conveniently with the logo in front of That's called product placement, and it costs money. How many times did you see the Apple logo?
Wait a second, Johnny, what product is that?
Coffee somebody paid
Johnny
for.
Beane for Folgers Crystals. Johnny Beane for Folgers Crystals for a new generation.
Just water.
Speaking of water, I assume you guys and everyone in the chat saw the Super Bowl.
Give me some water, because I shot a man at the Mexican border. Cool, cool water. That's a great song. Sorry.
I assume everybody saw the Super Bowl, and if you didn't, you're probably going to be bored for the next segment of the show. Even Mama Kuda watched it with me. My favorite Super Bowl commercial was for Liquid Death, which is it's a water. It's a canned water that looks kind of like a beer can or spiked liquor can, and it's liquid death, and it's water. And they used Judas Priest Breaking the Law, which, by the way, wasn't played by Judas Priest. It was played by a cover band doing that song, but it was so cool. You're basically watching a kid's party, and as the song Breaking the Law is playing, you see these kids like rocking out like they're drinking hard alcohol with it. They're like, they get looking like they're drunk and, about to make out with each other. And then at the end, a pregnant woman looks in on them and starts drinking it, and it looks like they're drinking like a hard alcohol or a beer in the commercial to the song. And it was so fucking cool. That was like hands down my favorite Super Bowl commercial of this year. And I thought it was great that they used Judas Priest. Hey, Dwight Bailey.
My favorite commercial was a local commercial here. The networks give high-paying local clients, advertisers, they get like 1 or 2 minutes an hour that they can sell to local spots. And there are lawyers here in town. Lerner and Rowe are the name of the law firm. And Glenn Lerner lives up in Vegas and Kevin Rowe lives here in Phoenix. And the commercial was the two of them, and it's a green screen in front of them, but you hear, woo! And it's an ambulance going down the street, and they're both going, wait, hang on, hang on. And you can hear the siren going for like 15 seconds, and the ambulance takes a left, and there's an ice cream truck in front of the ambulance. And they get up, they're like, oh, God, I got to have a drumstick and a bomb pop, and give me one of these. And I was like, that's the fucking greatest commercial ever. So the local lawyers, the local lawyers here in town crushed it. That, and I thought the Cable Guy commercial with Jim Carrey was fantastic.
Oh, that
but
was
other than that, most of them sucked. I thought most of the commercials were awful.
Did you notice that most of the good ones were like celebrity retro commercials? You had like the two guys from Scrubs, a show I was on once. On the
you didn't see you.
Yeah,
like most of the shows you're on.
You missed me that way. You shouldn't have blanked. You shouldn't have blinked. I was a doctor on that one. But no, they had the two leads from Scrubs in one retro commercial, and another was Larry David, like through history. That was really fun.
Larry David is great in everything. You want to hate him, but you can't. He's just likable. But I thought
Larry David is great. Is he really though?
Is he really so great?
Really though?
Salma Hayek looked fucking outstanding in her commercial.
Oh my God, is she still
the one with Arnold
looking?
She's got a great doctor. Whatever her doctor is doing, I love it.
What was the Arnold Schwarzenegger one again? What was that one about?
Oh, that was my other favorite, where he plays Zeus.
Yeah, you can. It's for like, you know, it was for like electric cars or whatever, and
and he's living in Palm Springs.
The thing
he's
about it is
frustrated in his retirement. You know,
what sucks is
playing golf and people are like, "Hey, Zeus, yeah."
If you can't remember the product, it wasn't that great a commercial, and I think that's a, that's one of the mistakes that some of the advertisers make is, oh, that commercial with so and so. You go, yeah, I loved it. What was it for? You're done. I mean, it's got to be memorable. You got to know what the product is. Otherwise, it was just you rented a celebrity for fucking 30 seconds and nobody remembers what the product is. That's not true. It's Keith Campbell. Salma has had work done. She's just got.
I don't care if she had jackhammers on her.
Yeah.
I want a jackhammer on her also because she looked smoking hot, like she always has. That woman, I don't care. I don't care
stunning.
if you had work done. As long as it's good work, do it. Do it.
No, she's stunning. She's stunning, beautiful.
I don't care if you get breast implants filmed with wood chips. I don't care.
There's a girl. There's a girl here in town that reminds me of Salma Hayek. She's a traffic reporter on the NBC affiliate. Her name is Vanessa Ramirez. Your Google.
Hold on,
now.
I'm getting the address into my
Vanessa
my road trip ready to go. Mom, pack me snacks.
Vanessa Ramirez, Channel 12, Phoenix, and she is Salma Hayek hot. I mean, she's fucking gorgeous.
When the report comes on, they're like, and Johnny, oh look, is that Salma now? Is that Salma now?
No, let me get it. Let me get it. I can actually just take it out of here.
All right, get it out of there.
Who's the girl on Fox 10 that took over for Carrie Lake? That girl's smoking hot. Fox 10.
Fox.
She is.
Yeah, I did, Bozique. I did ask her out. She just ignored me. She didn't shoot me down, but she didn't acknowledge the request at all.
Her words to Paulie specifically were, "I'm sorry, Paulie. I mean, we're just such good friends. Do you know Mancuda?"
No, I basically said to her, I sent her a message because we worked the same schedule, so it was impossible to get in touch with her. I said, look, if you want to go grab some coffee or something after work one of these times, let me know. Just say the word. No word. So it wasn't like I really asked her out, but
it could happen though.
It could happen. She's very, very nice. She's very nice. She's a sweet, sweet woman, and god damn is she beautiful.
Every time I turn into that newscast, I'm like, okay.
Oh, and Paul, he also had the hots for the Arizona Cardinal, the Diamondbacks girl.
That's the same girl.
Oh, it's the same girl.
Yeah,
sure is.
Yep, she is. She is. Johnny, you want to grab a picture of that girl? She is as good looking as it gets.
What? Change my lights.
I love how down in Mexico the weather girls are just drop dead gorgeous, right?
Well, this girl is Mexican.
And they're always
do that
majorly. I turn on Telemundo and they're always majorly busty. It's always like and now the weather report with our little chica Consuela. Hello. Today is sunny. Sunny.
That's only slightly racist. Only slightly racist. Slightly. Just
hey, listen, I'm attracted to what I'm attracted to, man.
Pequeño racism. Pequeño.
Poquito.
Yeah, she's a beautiful girl and she seems nice. The thing is, she does work for the Diamondbacks. She's like the stadium. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And she does the stadium.
I need some Vaseline for my Asaline.
Johnny, find the girl on Fox 10 for me.
She could. That girl couldn't be more beautiful. God. I mean, she's
Fox
perfect.
Phoenix.
She's perfect.
I should write to her now and tell her to get an advanced restraining order ready because I'm going on a road trip.
She is as gorgeous as it gets, and she also hosts the in-stadium thing at the Diamondbacks games. My guess is every major league player that's come to Phoenix since she started doing those games is like, oh yeah, I got a shot with that, and she shuts them all down. So yeah, she couldn't get.
I like funny guys.
By the way.
Kuda.
By the way, everything about that girl is natural as well. You don't see from the hips down, but the curves continue.
And at Chase Field here in Phoenix, where the Diamondbacks play, they do have a swimming pool out in center field, and she walks around in her bikini out there, and it's right next to the other team's bullpen.
Yeah, she's as good looking as it gets.
Gadzooks.
I made that part up about
all of that said, super nice too. Like that's the other thing. Yeah.
Not the other way around.
5150. 3PO, shut them all down.
Yeah. No, that's the kind of shots that I'm taking at women. When Dane goes, hey, what was it like being alone on Valentine's Day? I was alone on Valentine's Day because that's the kind of girl I think I can date.
Actually,
watching Channel 12.
No, I
take a little lopsided.
I take those high shots too. I take those high shots too.
I take those high shots too.
Yeah, I weigh out, try to outkick my coverage. I mean, that's just,
You know what? Let me tell you
There's
something.
a thing.
Let me
Girl
give
like
a little
that.
advice.
No, you're right, John. I'm going to say the same thing. A girl like that is single more often than not because no guy will ask her out because they're all intimidated by her. So I figure I'm going out on a blaze of glory. I'd rather go out on my shield than be on my deathbed and going, I wish I'd have hit on Vanessa.
No, absolutely. And you know what? A lot of times I've gotten that I've dated some gorgeous girls, and usually like the hottest ones, the models, whatever, they've told me specifically, you know what? Nobody asks me out because they're so afraid that I'm going to shoot them down. And so many times I'm not going to. I just want like someone to ask me out normal, not like, creepy or anything, just normal. Walk up, hey, could we go out sometime? Just normal. And guys won't take that shot. They're too afraid. Or they make the mistake of getting liquid courage in them first. And then they're like 9 shots in the bag. And they're like, hey, you want to fuck? Do you like to fuck? I like to fuck. Who do I like to fuck? Fuck.
Here's the thing. I know one thing. There are 2 things I know.
You want to go out?
2 things I know. I'm not ugly, and I'm not Jason Momoa.
There you go. That's all you need to know.
I'm somewhere in the middle there. In fact, I'd like to consider myself more Jason Momoa with a dad bod than
some girls like dad bods.
And then Seth Rogen. So if you've got
I look like Seth Rogen, according to Michael Anthony.
A little bit.
That's what he told me.
A little bit, except not quite as tall or fat.
There you go.
or talented or rich or
Johnny,
successful.
can you put
None
up
of
a
it.
picture of another news girl we have, Carrie Lake? Let's see a
Carrie Lake
picture of Carrie
she's running for governor of the state of Arizona.
Yeah, John, let me know if you would vote for this woman as governor. If you
She's
lived here in
also
Arizona.
very
I may
very
cast
hot.
my ballot between her
Carrie Lake,
cleavage.
Cari is how you spell her first name.
K-A-R-I Lake.
That's
and
why she won't
she's
go out
also
with
very
you, Dan. You
gorgeous.
misspelled her name. She's like,
Oh,
that
shit.
kind
I
of
thought it was
sweet
with
little
a C.
blonde guy. That sweet blonde guy's so nice. He misspelled
Yeah.
your name. Oh,
She's
never
also very
mind.
very gorgeous, but she's also crazy. She's a whack job, which is
they're
good.
all crazy. It comes with
I
the
know, Joe
vagina.
Hervey.
You have to balance the level of beauty and crazy. You got to kind of find it right in the
Yep.
middle.
middle.
Maybe a little
Yeah.
bit more beauty that you could tolerate, but yeah, it comes with the vagina.
Well, can't
As
drive
do I.
55. When I was up over 300 fucking pounds, I was compared to Peter Griffin. When you have no chin, when your neck just comes out, when that thing comes out and stuff, you have a
Yeah.
Carrie's,
He
There
said-
she is.
Carrie's a
No.
mom.
No, I'm sorry. No.
Show the full body picture, John.
With all that political power.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't like short hair.
You don't like
I
that
like
look?
all
short
that
hair on
political
girls.
power.
I don't like short hair on a girl.
Eh,
What's that one on the
look at-
right? That photo looks like she's been photoshopped. That one on
Look
the
at
right.
those lips.
That one where she's got the yellow. It looks like someone photoshopped a head in there.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's
right.
No, not for me. Not for. She looks like a soccer mom. She looks like
Yeah.
she'd be asking for the manager at
yes, well,
Target.
she looks more like a Karen than a Carrie.
Yeah.
She
Too
does look like a
Karen-y.
Karen.
No, I can't do that.
She's gonna run as a Republican. She's a Trump lover.
Octopus ears.
Let's
is
hear more about that,
asking-
Zims.
Yeah, I was going to
let's
say,
not. Octopus ears.
let's try to bring
Octopus-
politics into the show. That makes sense.
No, I'm not.
Non-political
No, I'm
show,
not.
Dane.
Just talking about the
Non-political
girl.
show.
Just talking about a
Non-political
girl.
show. No politics. We don't do it. Octopus ears asked Neanderthal and Mancuda, what is the youngest you would go for in a serious relationship? Listen,
Ooh.
I've been asked this before, and I keep saying the same answer. It's a case by case basis. I've dated chicks that are older and they're totally immature, and I've dated chicks that are like super young but legal, and they are totally immature. And I love a girl who's immature but smart. Okay. I love it. All seriousness, I love a girl with a brain that doesn't mind being my little, 12-year-old minded playmate. You know what I'm saying? Minded, not age. I want someone that likes to be silly, but also can run a business. Someone that's like really heavily educated, well-traveled, but loves to like play with the toys in the aisle of the supermarket. That's what I like to do. So I like someone like that. So for me, it's not an age. I would get in a serious relationship if a really smart 18-year-old came my way, no problem. If a really immature 40-year-old came my way, no problem. It doesn't matter to me. It's a number. It goes by the person and what life experiences have shaped them. Girls that have modeled and traveled the world since a young age or been in the entertainment business are really, really mature because they've been through so much business that they've had a lot of life experience, more than your average 30-year-old just sitting in their apartment that graduated high school and didn't go to college. And again, there are smart girls that didn't go to college. I'm not saying there's not, but I am saying in an effect, legal to whatever age. I don't care about a number. I care about how the person is inside, what their mind has experienced. And that's pretty much it. I really, 19 to 69, that's fine. I'm open for everybody.
When there's a girl that is younger than one of my daughters, I don't think I could go there.
As someone who doesn't have daughters, I'm
No.
open to anything. College co-eds, knock on my door, baby.
Yeah, it's a matter of having shit in common. I don't know that I have a whole lot in common with a 25-year-old. I just don't know that I do. And if I do, great. My ex-wife was 8 years older than me. I'd never asked I never asked her age. I mean, you look at what you like, and what you like is what you like, and what you're attracted to is what you're attracted to. But I think there is a certain, I don't know that the number matters as much as the connection matters. I have a friend of mine who is significantly younger that I would have no problem dating. I don't mean significantly like fucking like 19, 20, 25. She's over 30. She's probably 35, 36 years old, and that's fine. On the other hand, I've met some 60-year-olds that I wouldn't want to talk to because they don't have their shit together. So I don't know that,
but they can take their teeth out.
Yeah,
which is a plus. That's the plus.
I don't know.
So does a crack whore.
Yeah, I don't know that the number matters as much as the commonality and the connection. And I don't know that. Yeah, that's a weird thing. I think it's
saneness. Let me give
you.
It comes down to being sane.
Well, good luck with that. We're talking dating women, Johnny.
Let me give you a good
metal
analogy.
Chicks.
Some metal chicks are fucking nuts.
And some are great.
My father was 42 and my mother was 19 when I was born, or when she got pregnant. She was 20 when I was born. No, she was still 19 when I was born. And so there's a problem. I mean, when you're more than twice the age of the woman that you're fucking, when you're old enough to be her daddy, literally. Yeah, that's a problem. I don't have that answer.
Who's your daddy and what
does he do? What could you possibly have in common with a girl that young?
Right.
But here's what I'm talking about, Dane. And to Paulie's point, he's saying what you have in common. It depends. You could be.
Yes, we do have depends in common sometimes. Yeah, depends in common is a.
When you go the other direction.
Sometimes she wears mine.
This is back to where you have to take it on a case-by-case basis. I'm sure I'm not going to come across a lot of girls that are going to say, oh my God, Mancun and I have so much in common. We're huge comic book and guitar collectors, and we both love to masturbate in public a lot, and we're pink. That's probably not going to happen. So I look at, okay, what TV shows do we like together? Do we have the same sense of humor? That doesn't mean we grew up watching the same exact cartoons and eating the same breakfast cereal as kids. It just means, are we able to laugh together? Are we able to sit down and watch a sitcom on TV today and have the same level of humor? Have we traveled to some of the same places in the world, or have that desire to travel? Are we both foodies? Do we both enjoy going to a steak restaurant, or are you a vegan and we're probably going to disagree a lot when we go out to eat? It all depends on what you're looking for in common. There's so many plateaus of what you have in common you could look for. It doesn't necessarily have to be your prime hobbies. My ex-girlfriend of 8 years and she didn't read comic books or give a shit about guitars, but we traveled a lot. We liked food a lot. And we liked the same TV shows. So we had a lot in common.
I will tell you this, in an effort to try and bring it back toward music. I met my ex-wife while I was in a band. She didn't give a shit. She was at the bar. She was having a great time. She was,
I'll blow anyone in the band.
No. She was cool.
She was the one like this.
She was very cool.
How Dane met his. David Lee Roth's not available, but I need some cock.
And
the opening band.
And she was a fan of music, but different music. We were fans of different music.
Good music.
And it was important that, Johnny, when's the last time you played anywhere?
The shower.
Yeah. All right, you can talk. Thank you, false flag.
Thank you, false flag.
But the point being, she had her thing. I had my thing. I have had girlfriends. I've had girlfriends who did the whole, when are you going to give up music, or your band or me shit? And the answer was my band. The answer was music. The answer was because any woman or man, if that's what you're into, we're certainly advocates and allies here on the show. Anyone that tries to dictate your life choices is a fucking red flag. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. And don't
when
change.
Getting rid of your dog.
Yeah, when are you getting? Oh, that's another one.
Yeah,
Hey,
right.
when you're,
Honey, I love my rhino more than you. Are you kidding?
I've had that conversation. So when your dogs
About
die,
Blue
you're
Rhino?
not. No, when your dogs die, you're not going to have another. You're not going to get another one, are you? I'm like, you're goddamn fucking right, I am.
No, I'm gonna get another 2.
Here's the thing: my ex-wife and I, we didn't fight very often. It was, the way our marriage split up was as amicable as you could ask for. She's great, and I wish her all the best of luck in the world. That said, when we did have the discussion, you can go, the dogs stay, and she got it. She knew it. She was like, all right, I'm going to go. You can keep the dogs. Those are those things that there are fundamental, foundational things about your character. And one of my foundational things is I'm a musician. What I do for a living, excuse me, is in the music industry and in the show business industry and in the performance industry. And I have done this for 35 plus years. If you can't deal with the world that I exist in, you and I are not going to be together. And that's the same thing I imagine for that incredibly hot, Vanessa girl that I hit on. Same thing. She probably has a real difficult time finding somebody that she can be in a relationship with because, let's face it, she's one of the hottest women you'll ever see on television. Every guy is hitting on her. If you're insecure, if you're a boyfriend that is insecure about having a woman that looks like that in your life and you think and you can't deal with that, then she's going to fucking kick you to the curb too. So yeah, I've got a couple thousand CDs here and I've got a few dozen guitars and I have long hair in my 50s and I have dogs, and all of those things are fundamental tenets of your personality and who you are. And that's why I'm single.
Yeah. If you don't find someone who likes you for you as you are, that's number one. Then
fuck that.
You're in the wrong boat. Okay. You don't have to like
where relationship advice guys.
I like Warrant. You like Nirvana or whatever. That's fine. We don't have to listen to the same music, but you have to accept that I like Warrant.
Yeah.
Of course, with her, I'll listen to whatever she wants me to.
Look at that. Jesus Christ.
No, but as far as hot chicks,
she is the woman of my dreams. Jesus Christ,
if you want a hot chick on your arm, you have to realize you're accepting the responsibility of a million guys hitting on them. You have to walk proudly and confidently that you have this hot chick on your arm, because if you're insecure and you're worried that guys are going to hit on your girl, it's going to happen, dude. Then date like a really ugly chick. Because if you don't want guys to hit on your girl, date an ugly chick.
I've dated some beautiful women.
Girl.
I've dated some really beautiful women who are ugly on the inside.
Which one do you want? You want to date that girl and let people hit on her and walk confidently saying, that's my arm candy? Or do you want this chick? No one's hit on me in weeks. Make your choice. Ugly girl or hot girl?
Look, you've heard the phrase before. Show me the hottest girl you've ever seen, and I'll show you a guy who's tired of putting up with her shit. And vice versa, by the way. There's got to be a reason why Jason Momoa and what's her face broke up. And it may not be her. It might be him. He might be a fuck up. Who knows? I mean, it is what it is. So my ex-wife and I, let's try to bring it back to music again. My ex-wife was a big fan of like The Cure and the Red Hot Chili Peppers and Morrissey and alternative dork shit that I just, and don't get me wrong, I like some alternative bands, but she liked some shit that I didn't like. She couldn't give a fuck less about Motorhead. She likes the energy and she'd like going to the shows and stuff, and it was fun. But she was not going to go buy, a record from Killer Dwarfs. She's not going to get a hand job at a Killer Dwarf show, and she's not going to give a hand job at a Killer Dwarf show.
Wrong girl. You don't have to like the music, but you got to play with the sausage. What else are you doing? You're not rocking out. You're not enjoying the music. Suck my dick.
But I don't know a lot of women that share my musical tastes. I just don't. I don't know a lot of. I don't know that that's. And by the way, that's not a consideration. I think that if you like 80s metal bands, finding somebody that digs that stuff, that's got their shit together, and that's still that's a rarity.
Hellstorm
the
wins
Colts.
the internet today.
Yes, that's pretty good.
Hellstorm's advice: find a girl that looks at you the way Wilfred Brimley looked at his diabetes monitor.
But the other side of that is, I listen to my music because I love my music, and I don't want it tied to a relationship. I don't want it tied to. They're separate things. My guitars are a separate thing. My ex-wife never, not once in the 26 years we were together, touched one of my guitars. Never. She had no interest. Didn't care. Was my thing. Not her thing, was my thing. She rode bicycles, Trek street bikes. That was her thing. She was a cyclist and liked doing her thing. I have a mountain bike, but I never once threw my leg over one of her road bikes. It was just, that was her thing. This is my thing, and that's okay. You can't connect the two. They don't always have to be. That's not the thing that you have to have in common. And so I have a fairly decent, and she took her musical collection with her when she left. She had, and we kept our CDs separate. We didn't have one library. I had a library. She had a library. If she wanted to listen to something that I had, I would burn her a copy of it. And the reason being is because she would take my CDs and listen to them and then take them out and throw them on the passenger side of her car and leave them out in the sun and shit. And I couldn't deal with that. It was my OCD kicked in. I couldn't handle it. So I basically would say, well, what album do you want to listen to? And she'd be like, I don't know, Dire Straits, Brothers in Arms, or whatever it is. So I go, all right, cool. And I go over to the CD burner, burn her a CD, take it off the little spindle, hand it to her. And when she needed another one, I burnt her another one. It was just easier that way.
Oh, look, my ex, wasn't into guitars. She bought me them as gifts. She knew my appreciation of them. One time I came home and, there she was dressed up in rocker clothes, playing with one of my pink Ironbirds goofily just to amuse me. And I took her to NAMM and we, had a lot of fun taking photos and looking around, and she saw me playing with the guitars. She didn't play guitar. She didn't want a guitar. It's things you do together. Look, I'm not into Elton John so much, but I went with her to a concert of Elton John, and she went with me to Motley Crue. It doesn't, you don't have to have everything in common. You just have to have certain things in common, like able to hold a conversation, able to enjoy meals together, want to spend time laughing together, similar humor. Certain things matter, certain things don't. And look, at the end of the day, Johnny and Dane spent Valentine's Day disappointing their significant others, and Paulie and I spent Valentine's Day alone and destitute. And there you go, folks. How was your Valentine's Day, everyone in the chat?
And my Valentine's Day was so fucking good. I got to go get Lemmy. My Valentine's Day was so good that at about 7:30, 8 o'clock on Valentine's night, I got fucking put into Facebook jail. So now I'm alone and I can't even communicate on social media.
It's like you're like being locked away.
So yeah, I gotta go get Lemmy. You can hear her barking. I'll be right back.
Okay, while you're doing that, let's touch on something John Boulware brought up, which is on my list of stuff to bring up today. The rock and roll, the Monsters of Rock cruise rather for 2022 happened, and I saw some videos from it. I saw some YouTube videos from it, little clips from people playing songs and bands interacting, and from what I heard, it was awesome, as expected, as predicted. I mean, look, you saw that band lineup, and for those not familiar, I'm gonna read off who was there because it was pretty much. I mean, the highlight, of course, was Alice Cooper, who was the big headliner, but going through the lineup: Alice Cooper, Queensryche, Tom Kiefer of Cinderella, Skid Row, Lit, LA Guns, Kix, Winger, Michael Monroe, Great White, Heat, Loudness, Pat Travers, Y&T, Eclipse, Vixen, Rose Tattoo, Mike Tramp of White Lion, Black and Blue, Firewind, Chris Holmes. Well, I don't think Chris made it. Joel Hoekstra, Lillian Axe, Faster Pussycat, Pink Cream 69, Dangerous Toys, Killer Dwarfs, XYZ, Bisto Blanco, Electric Boys, Crazy Licks, Little Caesar, Roxanne, Signal 13, The Mayor, John Corabi, And somewhere in there, I don't see them listed, but they were absolutely
Keep going.
there.
They're there.
I'm on a different list. I don't know
Oh.
why they might have been added later after this list I'm looking. And our very, well, let's see. Stop, Hardcore Superstar, our very own Nerd Halen, Caleb Rappaport and company, our Nerd Halen, proudly flying the Johnny Beane TV flag, our very own Nerd Halen. And let's put it this way. Caleb was a true carrying the Van Halen flag representative on that boat. Not only was the show amazing, and you can watch clips of it on YouTube, I highly recommend it, but also at one point, Alice Cooper had a Q&A, and Caleb stood up to ask him a question about Eddie Van Halen, and Caleb got a huge round of applause. It's nice to see Caleb Rappaport being appreciated for the amazing guitarist and humble person that he is. Because very much like Eddie, he's not being a douchebag. He's being very friendly. He's carrying on the flag of humility of his ability, which is tremendous. And I've always said, who is basically the person that best carries the flag of Van Halen as far as, playing like Eddie and treating people the way Eddie would. And my answer has always been Caleb. So it's nice to see that, being echoed when he stands up and says to Alice Cooper, hey, I'm Caleb Rappaport. I'm the guitarist of Nerd Halen, a tribute band to Eddie Van Halen, and got a huge round of applause. And then the question was great. The question was basically, Alice Cooper, you were around at the beginnings of Van Halen, because Alice has been around, in the 70s, and he saw, Van Halen come to life. What were your impressions of Eddie? What were your impressions of the band? What memories do you have? And Alice gave a great answer, because Alice Cooper is incredibly well-spoken. Alice Cooper really, really, he has a huge brain and loves to share it with the crowd. And he basically said, look, Van Halen came out as a party band, and they embodied the idea of being a party band. They took it to being the best party band out there. They said, we're the party. We are the party. We're coming to you, and our band is the party. When you see Van Halen as a show, it's a party. That's what you're coming for. You're coming to see Dave do over-the-top partying. You're coming to see Eddie do over-the-top crazy guitar playing, and Michael and Alex, holding the bottom end, and just having fun. When you're seeing Van Halen, you're having fun. And they embodied that better than any other band in the world. And, they were the ultimate party band. And then he said, and they continued doing that, throughout forever. He says the 90s was not kind to metal, and he loves metal. He says the 80s was a great time. But look, in the 80s, the thing about us was we were having such a good time. We kept doing more and more hairspray and more glitter and more spandex. And it got to be, so much silly fun that we were just getting so carried away that, every generation throws away the next generation. And that's why grunge had such an easy time coming in. And he said, and suddenly you had people, coming and, wearing flannel and looking at their shoes and, less makeup and short hair and, basically coming in and being depressed. They made depression a thing to counteract the fun party attitude of the 80s. And he said, the best line I've ever heard him say in my life, he said, I kind of just wanted to scoop up all these depressed 90s guys and put them on 6 big buses and drive them all to Disneyland and say, hey, stop being so depressed. What's the matter? Here, go to Disney, have fun. So I thought that was very cool. And look, I saw there's so much great footage of that cruise online. Obviously the Nerd Halen shows, but also Alice Cooper. I saw Kix do a great rendition of Don't Close Your Eyes the other day.
Love that tune.
Check it out. I mean, it's just so great seeing so many bands still really, really bringing it, on that cruise. And, Winger was great. And, I saw, Joel Hoekstra and Dino, I always butcher his name. Jalusic, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Dino
I always
Jalusic.
butcher the poor guy's name. Dino Jalusic. And they did a great version of Whitesnake's. I think it was Is This Love? I forgot the song, but I think it was Is This Love. And, Dino, of course, and Joel, being a part of Whitesnake. There's just so much good footage on there. I really want you guys, not now, obviously, but after the show, start going on YouTube and looking up those performances. Because if you weren't on the cruise, I wasn't on the cruise, but I'm going to live vicariously through YouTube. The acts that they had this year were just spectacular, especially coming off, all the pandemic shutdowns and non-tours and canceled and pushback tours from the pandemic. It's just so nice to see all our favorite bands coming back and putting out these great performances in these cruise ship settings. And I love it. And, like I said, hats off to Caleb for doing a great job as Nerd Halen and, really, really showing, look what you've got, man. Good for you. And
they've worked really hard at it, and
they deserve
something,
success.
a payoff out of it. I've seen a few YouTube videos of those guys over at the casino recently, and they're playing to very small crowds behind masks. And so I was very happy to see that.
And Caleb played at the Whiskey with Nerd Halen
with
recently.
Arms in the air, and just it was really fun to watch.
But it's nice seeing them be received and accepted into that, old school metal community, because look, he is flying the Van Halen flag and he's doing it really, really with the right reasons. He's not saying, hey, Eddie's not here, so I'm here. Look at me, look at me. He's doing it out of a true love for Van Halen, like we all have. If you guys saw the 8-hour Van Halen tribute show when Eddie passed away, we're all here. We love Van Halen, all of us. But I think it's just nice to see Caleb just really doing everything for the right reasons and getting that success of being booked on a cruise like that with such, other big names that he's, deserving of being shoulder to shoulder with at this point, I think. Did you guys in the chat see cool. Caleb's performance?
Yeah,
Jay Hannon, the great Jay Hannon of the band Gizmachi, saw it, and quote from Jay Hannon, quote, Nerd Halen killed it. Super excited for Caleb. Damn right. Let's get Gizmachi on that band show too.
It's good to see a dream make its way to fruition. People, a lot of people don't know. We know Caleb a little bit better than other people. And we know the amount of work and effort and the story behind the formation of that band. And it has been multiple years in the making for them to get to this stage, which is really only, the second step. The first step is getting some live shows. Well, they've had some live shows and they've had some success in some of these live shows. Now they're out amongst, there's an awareness. And what they do is a tribute, and it's an entertainment, and it's a thing that, there's an expectation of competency because they're trying some of the most beloved, they're expressing and playing some of the most beloved music that's ever been recorded amongst that crowd. To get into that crowd, play that music, and you can bet your ass every guitar player in every band and every passenger who's ever picked up a guitar micro-analyzed every fucking note that was played in every one of those songs. And if they weren't done correctly, it would have gone poorly. And the reality is Caleb is dedicated to doing what he does with precision and with competency and busted his ass. People don't know that that's his band. He put it together. Now, don't get me wrong. They're all equal partners. Every band is a sum of its parts, and there are great parts in that band. Without Hal being as funny and good and competent and comfortable on stage. And oh, by the way, he can fucking sing too.
Hal's a great singer in David Lee Roth's style.
Right.
Hal is a surprisingly good singer. Because look, you know Hal is a comedic and acting talent. You know that you already know. But when you see him playing the David Lee Roth element and it's not just a cover band. For those that haven't seen Nerd Halen, it's a cover band with comedy elements added in. So they're playing straight Van Halen as good as can be with some jokes thrown in. And it works. It works. And Hal is, like Paulie said, a surprisingly really good singer. He's got good pipes.
And he's singing some of the Sammy stuff now too. They haven't really incorporated much of it into their set. But that's even for a singer, something I have a little of experience with, even for a singer, those are not easy songs to sing. For a comedian who has spent his life perfecting one art, and Hal is an exemplary comedian and a decent actor as well. He's done some acting roles that he's done very well in. For a comedian to have the kind of talent, the writing talent, and the improv talent that he has in one area of performance, to be able to excel in a second area, to be sort of the jack of all trades deal, is notable. And kudos to Caleb for seeing that and pursuing that. And kudos to Hal for recognizing that the opportunity was there to make it work. And every great partnership, every great successful business venture is predicated upon having the right partners. And I think Caleb and Hal and Victor and Jeff are fantastic players together.
Because it was basically just a dream that Caleb had thought up. And they were coming close to getting it together. And then COVID hit and pretty much delayed that for 2 years. And, it's one thing when you are on stage and you're playing to a bunch of drunks at the bar that you don't really even know. But it's a whole nother thing when you know the guys from all these legendary bands that you grew up admiring. They're out in the crowd. Holy crap, man. The guys from Black and Blue are in the audience. That's a whole different thing.
There were people on that ship, band members on that ship that were personal friends of Edward Van Halen. So when you're doing something that is a tribute to something that they are intimately connected with, if you fuck it up, they take it personally. They're like, and if you do it well, they knew the guy that did it, and they're going to go, Ed would have liked that. You know what I mean? Like there's a certain amount of, and when you get into a room, and I can tell you this is again, having sat on stage with musicians in some of the biggest bands on the planet, when a musician in one of the biggest bands on the planet addresses you as a peer, there's a level, a door has been opened. You're part of the fraternity, not a club. It's not, there's no exclusivity and thing, but all of a sudden there's an acknowledgement of equality. And I think most musicians crave that.
It takes a long time to get anywhere close to that.
Right. And they want, and we all know what it takes. And maybe some of us don't in the chat that have never done it for a living or have ever tried it. But when John can sit across from Kevin Smith and hold a conversation with him as a peer, that's an acknowledgement of achievement. That's an acknowledgement of validation of shitloads of hard work and years of dedication to what you do. And that means Valentine's Day alone sometimes. And it means not getting a chance to go out with the coolest people or to party and shit, because you got to practice your fucking lines, or you got to practice your guitar, or you got to be at rehearsal, whatever it is. And Caleb does jobs and things that work around his schedule to make it work for him to put together. And he makes the time for the rehearsal to make this thing happen. And to watch this step of validation, culmination of the development of that band. And remember, it's been a couple of years, but when it's all said and done, it's only been a couple of years. And in 2 years, he went from concept to Monsters of Rock Cruise. And I don't know many bands that start out and 24 months later are playing on the same ship and stages as Alice fucking Cooper.
And I could be wrong, but I think Caleb.
So a tip of the hat to that.
Yeah, let me add in something really important that has to be pointed out. Every other band on that cruise that's advertised that people paid hard money to see is all original bands. Caleb is playing someone else's music, and he's playing it that good, interjecting with his own and Hal's and the other guys, of course, comedic element to change it up a little bit. Taking what they've done over someone else's music to achieve that level of peer, that's something to be proud of.
Yeah,
that
they made it
good.
their own. They made
You're
it their
that
own.
good. Big deal. That's a
keep
big
in mind
deal.
that there are two things there. It's a double-edged sword. When you're playing music that's established as well as it is with Van Halen, you're halfway through the gate because people already love the songs. The problem is people love those fucking songs, so you better get them right.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what?
Especially after Eddie passed, and Van Halen critics tell me that we are not the most nitpicky bunch of Karens out there. Oh, he's not playing it right. Oh, he's not doing this right. Oh, Eddie would never have done that. Nope. Bullshit. He never gets that criticism. Caleb gets it right. And as a person, Eddie's sweet like Caleb's sweet like Eddie was. That's a big important
little taller. Little bit taller.
Another thing that they're doing right is they put together that Christmas song that isn't a cover of a Van Halen song. They're doing Nerd Halen's version of White Christmas or whatever the song was. You remember? They did.
Yeah, wasn't that still? That was still a cover of White Christmas.
Still a cover. It's still a cover.
Right, it's a cover, but they did it Nerd Halen style.
It was a Van Halen version.
No, but that's the whole.
Van
The
Halen
whole
style.
thing is Nerd Halen style. The whole thing is Nerd Halen style.
So it's not
but
like
that's my point.
I did hear when
but
their
that's
ship
exactly
was
my
docked
point.
one day. Their ship was docked, and there was another ship next to it, and I heard that Van Halen was playing over in the other ship.
No,
that was
they're on a rowboat behind them. They're rowing behind the ship.
That was a joke.
It's them and Vinnie Vincent are both rowing behind the ship in dinghies. Come on, we got to get on that cruise.
There's a
nothing against Van Halen. But.
There's a school of thought, and I know this will sound weird to say it. Every guitar player since 1978, not everyone, but a good amount of guitar players since 1978 can play Eruption. Not many people can play the rhythm guitar licks to stuff like Out of Love Again or Romeo Delight or Mean Street or anything, you know what I mean? Those are the things that gain you the credibility. Tapping, I can fucking tap, all right? You can tap, Dane can tap. We can that part of Eddie Van Halen's playing, very easy to mimic. The rhythm and the phrasing of Romeo Delight and the things that you're doing in Atomic Punk or Light Up the Sky, those little things, those little nuances, those are the things that all those musicians on that boat were looking at. They don't give a fuck about the guitar solo in Ice Cream Man. Most guitar players that are competent guitar players, present company excluded, most guitar players that are competent guitar players can play the solo in Ice Cream Man. Not many of them can play the rhythm of Ice Cream Man and have that swing. Not many people can do the butterfly picking the way Eddie did in the solo in Ice Cream Man. Those little things, those little nuances are the things that make a good guitar player a great guitar player. And if you're going to take on the music of an Eddie Van Halen or a Steve Vai or a Jimmy Page or whatever great fucking guitar player you want to insert in there,
Dixon,
you'd better get
Dixon. What? Your mouth?
Dixon.
You'd better get the little things right, because the little things when doing a tribute to somebody are the things that people look for. The average person can do Eruption. You hear it in fucking guitar centers all over America every day. You hear everybody play fucking Enter Sandman or the opening to Walk from Pantera. Everybody can do that. Can you play, the rhythm track in Primal Concrete Sledge? If you can do that,
I'm the one.
Yeah, you're gonna get the respect that you deserve, and those are the things that those guys work on that nobody pays attention to, except for when you have to. And good for them.
Good for
them. It makes you feel really good when somebody is in the audience that is somebody that you really admire.
And I like to see
the reason that my band drives over and we play at the Whiskey A Go Go all the time. because you just never know who's going to be in that audience, and it's worth it to us rather than playing here at the bar in Scottsdale and the guy that works at the Circle K is in the audience, and you know. And so again, we'll be there this Friday night with Eric.
Is that what this is about? It was a nice,
yeah, the
nice, it was a
Whiskey
nice
a Go-Go
segue.
this Friday night, the Whiskey Dogs.
This is where we were leading to, is to get to this plug.
Yeah, this Friday night, Whiskey
Caleb,
Dogs with Eric Martin
No, look,
from Mr. Big.
We all.
Cool.
Oh, I'm Mr. Small. I'm sorry.
And he's locked.
Did everybody
And he's
freeze?
frozen. But that's a common pose for him to be frozen in.
Look, we all want our friends to succeed. Oh, jeez.
And that's the other thing.
My mother's probably online upstairs.
Downloading
My mother's
porn.
probably online upstairs right now. Oh, bigblackcocks.com.
No, and you get very proud of your friend when that happens. And you get very proud of your friend when they play the fucking
See our
whiskey.
friends succeed.
I will you know,
see.
I played a lot of places. I never played the whiskey. I never get
I'm
a chance
lucky
to
they
play the
let
whiskey.
me into the whiskey.
I've been into the whiskey on several occasions and backstage and upstairs and all the shit that comes with it, but I've never played the whiskey. And that's something to be said. That's one of the things that when you look at your bucket list of places that you've wanted to play, the whiskey, L'Amour's, CBGB's, there are certain places that you say, shit, I wish I'd have been able to play that stage. I played a lot of good stages, but not that one. And so you say to yourself, you know, Dane, congratulations, you got to go through a door and step on a stage that I didn't. And you say to yourself, well, I know a guy that did it. And you could say that about a lot of bands, but you got to be proud of your friends and support your friends and be happy for them, because you know we're all getting older, and these experiences are what it's all about.
Not Johnny and I. Johnny and I are 29 every year, so don't look at Johnny and I.
Yeah,
yes,
you guys got plenty of time still.
Wayno, the whiskey was far away.
Even
from
next
Boston.
year when we turn 29, we'll still have plenty of time.
But we did play, Wayno, we did play the Channel, which used to be the Tea Party where Led Zeppelin played, and we did play Sir Morgan's Cove where the Stones played, and that dressing room smelled like dog shit, but it was people shit because there was no bathroom downstairs. So people would shit in the corner at the bottom of the bar. It was fucking.
And Gigi Allen played that bar.
What a shithole. We played a lot of shitty places.
But
listen, some of the most legendary places.
Do you want to play some place where people are afraid to spill their beer or something? You don't want to play at a bar where people are afraid to spill the beer.
Dude, are you fucking serious? I wouldn't change any night on stage, and I crave that still. It's like I haven't played football in 30 years, organized football in 30 years, but every June I smell that fresh cut grass and I go, God, I got to be in camp. Like I should be training right now. Same thing with a band. Every time I go to a bar, I sit back and go, fuck, I could have played that place. You know what I mean? You know what? Every time I smell that fresh cut grass, I'm thinking, with the way my career is, I should probably mow some lawns to make some money so I'm not homeless. That's what I think. You do. There are a lot of people that go to bars that look up at the band and say, God, I wish I had the balls to do that. And anybody that's ever done it, or the talent. Yeah. Anybody that's ever done it for a living. And that's why you see musicians try to act and actors try to join bands, because you do one thing and you think, well, it can't be that much different. And then you try to do it and you realize, oh shit, that's like speaking a different language, a completely different language. And I wouldn't trade the experience of being on stage for anything in the world. It was the greatest fucking experience of my life. And I wish I could still do it, but the game has changed and I'm an old man now. And so I just kind of tip my hat to those that do it. Getting an opportunity.
You said do.
But I would love to, we've talked about this before. You get together and if there's an open mic night, grab a guitar, grab another couple buddies, sit up there and fucking play a song just for the fun of it. Your dreams of being a rock star are over by the time you're 30. Very few people make it. It's a young man's game or a young woman's game.
30.
See, Johnny, that's why we never turned past 29.
No, but the
We still
truth
got
is,
time. We still got time.
they say if you're like, by the time you're like 20, 21,
It's getting
over
there.
the hill.
but it's different now.
It's a different game
totally,
now.
It's no. It's
You're
totally,
20. You're washed up, son. You're finished. You're through.
Anybody can make it at anything nowadays because of the internet.
Well, yeah.
Everybody has access to everything.
Really great for porn.
Yeah,
Dane,
your
come
chance.
back. Dane,
I
you
said
still have
porn,
time.
and Dane went running. Dane went running. He's like, porn.
No, and Stephen Franklin, that's a great point. You say that to Caleb. Caleb found a way. He found a way to redefine and re-identify himself and put something together that was a project. Caleb's not playing original music, and Caleb has no designs to play original music and doesn't have the time that it takes to do that. If Caleb were playing in an original band, none of those guys would have an opera. That's why Steel Panther is famous. Steel Panther is comprised of a bunch of guys who had their shot making original music, and it didn't happen for them. Some of them had some success. Russ had some great success. You know, Ralph had some limited success. Those guys went out and did some shit, but they didn't make it. And then they put together something that was a tribute to what, you know, a retro thing, and it was fun, and it was a stage show. And then, you know, it's easier to make it in theater and in television when you're older. There are some people that have had, you know, like Danny Trejo's career didn't happen until he was in his 50s. You know, guys like that, you can do that in television, you can do that in theater, but the music industry is not like that.
Guys,
so
guys,
they did a great job.
I have to just adjust that, Paulie. In TV and film, guys, we can do it. Girls,
Right.
It's
You're
a
right.
lot harder.
No, you're
It's
right.
a lot harder. Yeah.
You're right. But that's the tough part about
the way,
it.
Thrash Melon and Fun Riffs, I play a mean Mary Had a Little Lamb. Thank you. And let me tell you something. One day I'll be on the Monsters of Rock cruise. My set list will be Mary Had a Little Lamb,
Sweeping.
the intro to Enter Sandman, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, Happy Birthday theme. I'm gonna learn Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the rest of it. I mean, I'm on fire. I'm on fire, and I will one day be on the Monsters Rock cruise. Mind you, it'll probably be mopping the bathrooms, but I will be on that cruise, and you'll see me. You'll spot me in a minute. Jizz boy.
Yes, Keith Campbell. Russ did play with Halford, but he didn't make it. He was a hired musician. Went out, got to play a couple of tours, and that's great. But that's not making it. Making it is having your Greta Van Fleet has made it. You know what I mean? And by the way, I don't think Greta Van Fleet are a fantastic band, and I don't think they'll be around 5 years from now. But they did win a fucking Grammy. So that's going to sit on their shelf for the rest of their lives. And they can say, when I was fucking 19, I peaked at 19, but when I was 19, I won the fucking Grammy Award. And that's making it. For a limited moment, you have your moment. Some people have 50-year careers. Some people have 15-minute careers. But at least they had careers.
Making
Milli
it
Vanilli,
means something different to different people. It's
right.
Milli Vanilli, you may laugh at Milli Vanilli, but you know what? They've got those MTV Moonman trophies on their shelf, and right now they're talking to each other. They're like,
one of them's dead.
One of them died.
Yeah, he's dead, so he's not really talking to anybody.
None of you guys
one
have
of
brought
them.
up the Super Bowl halftime show. We can just
the dead guy sings as much as the live guy. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
kind of the same thing.
Yeah,
Super
you
Bowl
get
halftime show. Yeah,
but Johnny
halftime show.
Johnny inadvertently brings up a valid point, which is
That's why I'm here.
Yeah. which is you tip your hat, you know, making it mean something different to different people. Watching Caleb and the guys in Nerd Halen on stage with that crowd in front of them out there in front of that on that ship during the Monsters of Rock cruise, Caleb can walk off stage and say, "Mission accomplished. I wanted to be the lead guitar player in a rock band, and I did it."
Yeah, they made it.
They don't have to do another goddamn thing.
In a concert with all of my 80s heroes.
Right. You
Gotta
can
give 'em credit.
Now
say,
they can set the next goal.
Yeah,
they've got another goal that they have to set now that's going to be even bigger.
Yep. Most critics have never done a goddamn thing. They didn't have the balls to do it. They didn't have the talent to do it. They didn't have the tenacity to do it.
That's why they became critics.
Most critics sit behind their keyboard or their typewriter or their microphone and do their
Bitching.
podcast, and they bitch and they complain and they tear it down, and they have no fucking clue what they're talking about.
You know what's hard on musicians is you get to a certain
Hard
plateau.
on.
Yeah, you get to a certain peak. Okay, they just played the Monsters of Rock tour right there. Now, what is the next step? What can you do that's even better? And it's even happening
hard on again.
to. It's even happening to me right at this very moment. A few minutes
You have a
ago,
hard on?
I got a text from our lead singer, and he goes, "Hey, you want to play the Canyon Club in Montclair?" And I'm like, "Who's the headliner?" That's the first thing I have to ask.
Dane's getting selective now.
What?
Yeah, the headline.
Who cares?
Yeah,
I
know.
you
I don't know.
You become selective now.
than St. Alice Cooper himself.
Now, 2 3
Who
years
did you say is
ago,
the headliner? Let
The
me Google
headliner's-
their success record.
Who's the
How many
headliner?
album sales do they have?
the headliner's the Tubes.
Oh, dude.
Ah.
Would you drive to LA and open for the Tubes?
Yes.
Yeah, sure, why not? Have you ever played with the Tubes before?
No, never played with the Tubes before.
I was in a band with one of them years ago.
Who's still in the band? Do you guys?
Fee
anybody know?
Waybill.
Oh, man, could
As long as Fee is in the band, it's all that matters.
Okay.
Fee Waybill, and then who's the guitar player? John Biel.
That's what I have to figure out. if
John
he's
Biel?
gonna
No,
be
he's
there.
not
you
in the
know,
Tubes
no.
now?
The answer is yes. The answer is yes. Do you?
Barry
do
passed
it.
away, didn't he?
I
No,
think
the
so,
keyboard
yeah.
player. The keyboard player passed away.
You say, here's the thing, Dane. I don't give a fuck if it's the Tubes or not. 10 years from now, you'll be able to say, dude, I fucking played with the Tubes.
You're right.
And
You know what I mean? Like,
You're right.
Any band that you can mention to us that we know the name of, you should want to open
dude,
up.
I fucking played with
Okay.
I played with the
Right here.
Tubes.
I'm
That's
gonna
cool.
message him back.
the Tubes
message
is a
you
is a
back.
is that Fee?
Is that the
Yes, it could
Tubes
be
right
Fee.
now calling up?
Fuck
He
yeah,
follows me
let's
on
open
Twitter,
for the
actually.
Tubes.
Listen,
guarantee you.
Johnny, tell Dane if he doesn't
It's
want to
Fee
open for
calling.
us, there are other bands we have ready to go.
Fee's calling. He's going, don't play the show. You're a loser. Go ahead and stay home, Dane. Play the fucking show.
Now, Caleb in his band.
Wait, you're showing us
Is he the
phone
guy
numbers.
Oh
is he
boy,
the guy that
there we
does
go.
all the booking?
Okay.
Yeah, don't show the phone numbers.
Yeah,
Not a good
Jesus.
idea.
Right, there goes that. But Dane just blew that deal.
No, it's just my.
Play the fucking show.
Of course you want
Okay,
to
I
play
just
it,
said
Dane.
fuck
Of
yeah.
course
Let's
you
Thank
play
you,
this show.
Taylor.
Of course you do. Dane, any guitar you guys you recognize the name of, any band you recognize, of course, play it for them. Sure.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And the
I think we
Tubes,
passed. I
dude,
passed
that's
on,
a huge party.
We
that
passed
show,
on the suite though.
Thank you,
Sweet.
Taylor.
The Suite.
The Suite?
I can see
Yeah, we
passing on the
passed
Suite
on
because
Suite.
there's nobody in the band anymore, and
It's just the guitar
and
player.
most people don't know who the fuck the Suite are anyway.
The Suite, the old school, the Suite.
Yeah,
yeah,
the Suite.
the Ballroom Blitz and
I
all
love
that.
the Suite.
Yeah,
I love the Suite, but there's only one guy.
I think
too,
you would.
but-
I think you would want to open for the Suite.
just the
It's not the
guitar
That's
Suite.
player.
that's a legacy band.
But it's
It's
not the
not-
band,
There's
though.
So many
It's
bands.
almost like
It's-
the Suite cover band.
Yeah, it's
now.
not the
just
Suite, though. It's
guitar
one
player.
guy who was in the Suite. You know, it's not.
Well, that's Quiet Riot right now.
Yes, and I wouldn't. And quiet. Who cares? If somebody said, "Do you want to open for Quiet Riot?" I'd think about it
That's
'Cause it's not-
almost. It's almost Kiss.
because it's
My
not
guitar
Quiet
player
Riot.
just said, "Who are the Tubes?"
Oh, boy.
LOL. She knows who they are.
80's band.
Yeah.
Tail,
White Punks on dope.
Paulie, Taylor is asking, great show tonight, guys. Thank you, brother. Paul, what is your reaction to, and we were going to talk about this anyway, to Nikki Sixx saying Pearl Jam is one of the most boring bands ever? Who is the better band to you? And I have to preface this. It's not specifically Pearl Jam. It's Nikki Sixx and Eddie Vedder, specifically Eddie Vedder, because the other members of Pearl Jam have admitted they've liked Motley Crue. So it's just specifically Eddie Vedder starting a war with Motley Crue, saying, look, I thought, I couldn't deal with girls. I couldn't deal with watching the Motley Crue on MTV. They were terrible. They were, so bad. And Nikki's just like, look, you sing with fucking marbles in your mouth. I don't know what you're talking about. So there's basically a trash talk going on between Eddie Vedder of Pearl Jam and Nikki Sixx. Paulie, what are your thoughts? Let's go around the room.
I happen to like Pearl Jam. I think Pearl Jam.
I got some for you.
I happen to like Pearl Jam. I think Pearl Jam writes some great fucking songs. I think they're a great band. I think they're great musicians. Mike McCready is a huge fan of UFO. In fact, he has a UFO cover band, tribute band that he plays for Crohn's and colitis disease.
Enough Crohn's.
Does all these these shows, and half of Pearl Jam was in Mother Love Bone, which is a fucking fantastic band. Eddie Vedder is right about certain things. There were certain things about Motley Crue that were just fucking silly. But that's the point. I would say to you, musically, Pearl Jam, better band. Motley Crue, better time. I mean, Motley Crue, I've said it before. Motley Crue's not a great band. It's a great fucking time. The part of the thing about Motley Crue is nobody in Motley Crue outside of Tommy Lee is a virtuoso musician. Vince is not a great singer. Mick's not a great guitar player. He's a good guitar player. He's not a great guitar player. Nicky's not a great bass player. They wrote the good Motley Crue songs are fucking excellent songs, but that doesn't matter. What matters is the party. Motley Crue was a fucking thing. Motley Crue was a great time. You didn't go to the Motley Crue show for the show. You went to Motley Crue shows for the chicks and the drinking and the party and fucking awesome. And you don't go to Pearl Jam shows for that.
Mm-mm.
That's not what you go to Pearl Jam shows for. You go to Pearl Jam shows for a vibe. Pearl Jam shows are a vibe. It's like going to a Grateful Dead show or a Black Crow show or Widespread Panic. There's a vibe to it. There's an energy to it. And Pearl Jam has some fucking great songs, but it's not the party that Motley Crue is. So I think it's nice that Eddie Vedder doesn't like Motley Crue. I think it's silly that Nikki Sixx is bad-mouthing Pearl Jam. I think it's always funny when multimillionaire musicians sling shit in the press. When it's all said and done, I like both bands for different reasons. And I think it's like saying, which would you rather do? Wear, motorcycle boots or engineer boots or Chuck Taylor sneakers? They both have their
Pearl
place.
Jam was one of the bands in the 90s that took over the scene, and Motley Crue's one of the bands that got left behind. And so,
Yeah, but that's not Pearl Jam's fault.
No.
And it's
But
partially
he got bragging rights because he helped do that.
And he didn't. It's partially Motley Crue's fault. Motley Crue was doing a shitload of drugs. They fucking hated each other. They weren't making great music. They were all fucked up. And the scene itself had become so saturated, it ate itself. Grunge didn't kill hard rock bands or metal bands. An oversaturation, too much of the same shit, and some of it was mediocre. And the mediocre shit completely obscured the great shit because there were great bands that came out, but there was too much of it, and it was just time to change. Music changes every 5 or 6 years. It was time to change. And Pearl Jam happened to be one of the big four bands of that new age of music that came in. But there were other bands. I mean, shit, nobody talks about Jane's Addiction and Faith No More and Red Hot Chili Peppers and Warriors Soul and all these other bands that are on the periphery. Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, and Nirvana get all the credit for a scene that self-destructed. And we can throw Stone Temple Pilots in there too for the fifth band as we talk about it. All of those bands are fucking excellent bands. Just like Alice Cooper said. Alice Cooper said, every one of those bands is a great band. The problem was the vibe around those bands. There was an aura, and for whatever reason, we stopped having fun. But if you look at stuff like Even Flow from Pearl Jam and the original video for that, where Eddie is doing, when he's doing the climbing up on the rigging and jumping off the second stage and doing the stage dive, that was a fun show. There was fun to be had at those shows. The crowds were miserable.
All I can remember about Even Flow was the little baby bottles, because I'm a father. And back in the 90s, I had little kids, and the little baby bottles were called the Even Flow.
Sure.
Listen, what I left in my hand coming out of the shower this morning was called Pearl Jam. Okay. So I'm going to give my 2 cents on this. Look, I'm the first person to say I hate grunge. I've always said it. I'm going to stick to my guns on it. Okay. Motley Crue is so much better a band because that's my taste. Okay. I'm a child of the 80s. I love going to a concert and having a party and that fun atmosphere with hard rocking guitars and aggressive vocals and singing with the crowd and tits flying everywhere and long hair and ripped up crazy colorful costumes and colorful fun pointy guitars. I love that scene because we were having fun. When grunge came around, it was like hanging around with just everyone who wanted to hang themselves. It was just depressing and miserable. And let's look at our feet and our itchy sweaters and our girls with short hair and tears running down, and I'm all miserable. And oh, it's raining in Seattle. Oh no! Oh, of course, Kurt Cobain. Of course, Kurt Cobain shot himself. Grunge is depressing.
So's Black Sabbath. So's fucking Black Sabbath, though.
Let me have my moment here, because I'm going to vent like an air conditioner on heroin. Look, grunge was depressing. And look, I'm not saying that in the late 80s, coming into the early 90s, we weren't doing it over and over again. Of course we were. It was fun. Look, I started jerking off when I was 11 years old. I still jerk off. You know why? Because it's fun. It's fun. I'm going to jerk off right the fuck now because it's fucking fun. Oh, God, am I having fun? I'm having so much fun. Yahoo! Listen, I don't get tired of eating my favorite cereal or eating my favorite ice cream, because who doesn't like getting laid? Who doesn't like good, fun music? Who doesn't like driving a Corvette at 100 and something miles an hour? Who doesn't
killing
like
a guy
having fun?
and killing a guy?
Speed kills.
And killing a guy.
I understand that. Look, I understand that it was over and over and over because it was a good fucking time. Okay. Grunge was depressing, and it was depressing because we were having so much fun that every generation has to go the other direction. The pendulum has to swing hard the other way. But you know what? I don't get tired of eating pizza because I love fucking pizza.
But you don't eat pizza forever.
Soy.
You can't eat nothing but pizza, though.
You watch me, motherfucker. Pizza and pussy, and I fold them both.
Gross.
Listen, no, seriously, bro. There is a point where, look, I understand we kept doing it. The next generation might not want to emulate our generation. I get it. Every generation's different. Right now, we're in an age of, hip hop and R&B being the thing. And you know what? Rock is coming back for the newer generation because they want something different too. It's a different style. It's more of a dirty honey, I get it. But that was the whole reason that switched. Yeah, we were having metal, and the next generation's coming in the 90s. They want something different. So what's as far different from fun, miserable grunge like Pearl Jam? Even the name means jizz. And Nirvana, Kurt Cobain hated life so much, he shot himself. And Courtney Love was so much a train wreck. Even trains were like, she's a fucking train wreck. It was just so crazy the opposite way. So yeah, if I'm given a choice of who's the more musical, better, fun band, I want to choose Motley Crue because sure, nowadays Vince can't sing for shit, but back in the day, he was an entertainer. He was a frontman. He was an aggressive, good frontman going out and getting the crowd to pump their fist in the air and sing the songs with him and scream and rip up their tits. And this was fun. And Mick Mars is a solid fucking guitarist. Is he technical? Is he a Steve Vai level? No, but he plays good, solid music. And Tommy, great drummer. He's a spectacle. He represents all the 80s was about. Mayhem, wild, crazy, fun, and a dick the size of a fucking baseball bat. Good God. Lucky bastard. But I digress. Then you have Nikki Sixx, who just wrote great fun songs. And when their best moment happened, and I consider their best moment Dr. Feelgood Tour, that was when they were clean and sober. That was when they cleaned up their shit, got their stuff straight. Did egos get in the way after that? Absolutely. Did Vince leave the band and Karabi come in, then Vince come back? And by then the scene had changed. There was no turning back. But look, for Eddie Vedder, who wrote some of the most depressing, miserable songs in the world. Even flow, oh, we don't know. Oh, God. I would sooner cut my dick off and chew on it like a piece of leather than have to listen to the album 10
Why didn't
all
you?
the way through. Holy shit. So, yeah, whose side am I on? Absolutely Nicky's. And you know what? Eddie started with his fucking marble mouth. You know, oh, we're Motley Crue. Oh, girls, girls, girls. You know what? I go into a strip club. I still hear that fucking song. I don't hear even flow. You don't see girls swinging on a pole to even flow. And you know what? I want to see girls swinging on a pole. You know who I see to even flow? Here's who I fucking see to even flow.
Oh my God.
No, Pearl Jam's busy playing stadiums while Motley Crue can't put their shit together.
To the grocery.
Oh my gosh.
Even flow. Oh, Lord, taking me away. Yeah. Even flow. Please. Please. I don't want to hear how fucking Pearl Jam was so great and fucking Motley Crue was so terrible. For him to pick a fight, I'm sorry, but you know what? I don't care about Eddie Vedder's new album. I don't care if Stevie Wonder is on it. I don't care, and nothing against Stevie, but I don't care who is guest starring on Eddie Vedder's new album. I'm not buying it. I don't want to buy it, but you know what? People are going on the Monsters of Rock cruise. People are selling out the fucking stadium tour, even with Vince's voice gone. The stadium tour is still selling out. So I don't want to hear about Eddie Vedder because Eddie Vedder, dude, you can't hold a candle to Motley Crue. I'm sorry. I don't care how successful 10 was during the worst period of music in history, the most depressed, miserable time in history. Even the great Gazoo says, oh, Eddie Vedder, go to a glory hole and suck my dick, dum-dum. Please. What stadiums are Pearl Jam playing right now that are selling out?
All of
Fuck you! That is brought to you by Delicious Bang Energy Drink. Delicious Bang Energy Drink, always the right drink at the most inappropriate times. Bang Energy Drink, not a fan of Eddie Vedder. So what do you think, Dane?
I would actually like it if Johnny put up Pearl Jam's 2022 concert dates and actually see where
because Pearl Jam actually plays tours. Pearl Jam actually plays tours.
If Pearl Jam plays tours in the forest and nobody hears them, does anybody care?
Everybody hears them. Pearl Jam sells out everywhere they play.
Well, I'm not going.
Pearl Jam has fucking people follow them all over the country like the Grateful Dead. I'm not saying that Motley Crue,
people listening to miserable music.
People who spend money and buy albums. Pearl Jam is fucking awesome. Pearl Jam's a great band. They're a great band. They're a different band. I don't go into a pizza shop looking for tacos. I don't go into I don't go into a Chinese food restaurant expecting to get spaghetti.
European tour sold out.
They're all fucking. They're doing just fine. Those bands they're fucking great. But they're different. They're apples and oranges. It's like driving a 4-cylinder economy car or driving a V8. One of them is going to get you they're both going to get you to the place you want to go. It's just a different experience. Pearl Jam is a fucking fantastic band who makes fantastic music. Motley Crue is a fantastic band who make fantastic music. There's room enough for both of them. Love them both or hate them both. Who gives a shit?
I don't love them both.
I
love Motley Crue. I don't love Pearl Jam.
Stephen Franklin, record sales are a bullshit comparison. Now, that said, they both sold about the same amount of records, and one of them has been around less time than the others. So you ask yourself, which one of them is more successful? It doesn't matter. The New Kids on the Block sold fucking 200 million records. Does that make them a better band than Pearl Jam or Motley Crue? No, it doesn't. Record sales are one metric. But both of those bands are great. John hates grunge, and that's great. It doesn't make it any less valid. Just like some people hate country, some people hate rap, but 100 million plus people bought Pearl Jam records, and they sell out tours everywhere around the fucking world in advance. Motley Crue have retired, come back, set up a tour, and can't fucking play it. Get your shit together. Yeah, get your shit together.
That's on Vince. That's on Vince.
Yes, it is on Vince. So if I said to myself, hey, here are these two bands, which one is scheduling a date and I'm more likely to fucking see? Pearl Jam's more reliable, they're more professional, and they're more dependable than Motley Crue.
And
that's a razor blade to my wrist in a hot tub and less painful than Pearl Jam.
I don't know about that. I'd rather listen to Pearl Jam right now than Vince Neil.
I'd rather open my wrist in the tub. I'll be right back.
And that's fine. Both of them are valid points. You can like what you like. You can hate what you like. I hate what other people like. What I think is interesting, though, is when rich, multimillionaire actors, musicians, athletes start throwing shade back and forth at each other. Boo fucking who.
I agree with that.
Yeah, just shut up. Shut up and fucking make a record.
Well, it just shows us that John is just very
opinionated.
He's firm on his opinion on hair metal. He loves that shit. Everything sucks ass. Done.
No, look, I break on Vince Neil all the time because I'm just mad at him that he's not putting in the effort to, learn the lyrics of the songs. With that said, I know which series of albums I would rather listen to. The first 5 Motley Crue albums, hands down.
By the way, Christopher Live Sawa, you're saying so-and-so hall in Seattle. Is that a stadium? No, they booked an arena tour and they're selling out the arenas. But if they booked stadiums, they'd sell out the fucking stadiums too. The stadium tour with Motley Crue is not selling out and it's not fucking happening. If Pearl Jam wanted to play fucking a dozen football stadiums around America, they could. They absolutely could.
Let's say Eddie Vedder becomes the new Motley Crue lead singer. How would you feel?
If they want to get that stadium tour going,
they
add Pearl Jam to that tour. Have Pearl Jam open. Have Pearl Jam play metal songs, cover tunes.
They're both
live wire.
They're
live wire.
And when it's all said and done, John, here's the kick to the balls for you. Pearl Jam's going to get in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I think they might already be in. Pearl Jam's going to get in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I think they are in, but I don't give a fuck.
And Motley Crue's not. And Motley Crue's not.
Judas Priest is not yet. And I'm hoping that they get in there. And you know what's really funny? Judas Priest, I don't know. The idea that Judas Priest and Iron Maiden are not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is criminal as it is.
I don't disagree with you.
I'm not going to go with it. You know what? I don't want to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame if Pearl Jam is in there and Motley Crue is not. I'm sorry.
Again, love what you love.
I do.
Yeah, love what you love and fuck everything else. And I just think that the idea of two multimillionaire rock stars throwing shit, they must be bored. There's nothing better to do but to just fucking talk shit about each other in the press. Shut up and make a record.
Vedder started it. I mean, he was in an interview and he's like, well, the 80s scene was so terrible. It was just, I can't stand it. Girls,
and what makes Eddie Vedder's saying any less valid than what you just said? You're some guy on the internet right now.
I'm badass. I'm cool.
Grunge sucked and grunge did this and that.
I'm fucking cool. No one ever got laid at a Pearl Jam concert.
Incorrect.
All the dudes
not by a hot chick.
Pearl Jam.
Maybe by some mongoloid in a sweater.
Have you ever been to a Pearl Jam show?
I'd sooner blow my brains out with a pellet gun.
I have. Great fucking time. I had a great time. Had a great time to Pearl Jam because I went into it.
That a Pearl Jam song?
I went into it with that
Glorified
expectation.
version of a pellet gun. But now Pearl Jam.
They're fucking great. They're a great band. It's great energy. It's great music.
You can't
It's
tell me
different.
the
It's just
energy in a
different.
Pearl Jam song is like a Motley Crue concert.
I can absolutely tell you that.
God.
It's
I
like
was
a Grateful Dead
No
show.
way.
Been there,
way.
experienced it. It was fucking awesome. Dude, Livewire and Animal from Pearl Jam are the same energy. They're the same energy. Even Flow is a fantastic song. Porch is a fantastic song.
I had diarrhea that was an even flow.
What was that
They're-
one song
they're
about where he
fantastic.
wrecked
They're
the car?
fantastic bands.
I
Well,
bet
we're
you.
gonna
I
agree
bet
to
you.
disagree.
There's more girls at a Pearl Jam show than a Motley Crue show.
Not hot girls. Hot girls are seeing Motley Crue.
I don't
Ugly
know about
girls
that.
are at a Pearl Jam show.
Here's the thing: the difference between the girls at a Pearl Jam show and the girls at a Motley Crue show. The girls at a
About
Pearl
100
Jam
pounds
show,
each.
the girls at a Pearl Jam show, if they're hot, and they are different, but if they're hot, they're going to look the same the next morning. When that makeup melts off the face of the girl at a Motley Crue show, and the hair and the Aquanet hair starts to fall
I'll
down,
take my chances with
you
the hot chicks at a
you want to
Crue
chew
show.
your fucking arm off because she's laying on it in the bed the next morning. At least you know what you're getting with a girl at a Pearl Jam show. You know exactly what there's more honesty at a girl at a Pearl Jam show for sure.
don't
And by the
know
way,
about it.
there is no.
36 solo. I'm bitter because the man attacked Nikki Sixx.
By the way, and somebody,
It's genre versus genre, man, and I know what side I'm on.
I love them. I can love them both. That's the thing, because I love music. I love music.
A lot of different genres, but you know,
I think that Octopus Ears brings up a good point. Everybody likes to compare Pearl Jam and Creed because they both had baritone singers. Pearl Jam is a fucking world's better band than Creed. Creed's a good band. Pearl Jam's a legendary fucking band. They're a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame band. Creed's a good band. They wrote some good songs, borderline great songs, but just because they both have baritone singers, they're not the same at all. It's like comparing Steve Vai and Joe Satriani. Just because they're both great guitar players, they're not the same. They've come at it from a different route, but they do have they play some of the similar scales and they do have similar tonality, but they're different players. Same thing with Pearl Jam and Creed. Same thing with Motley Crue and and fucking Rat. They're similar, but different, significantly different. All of those bands. And I think that
like
one of,
better.
keep in mind, you get what John was saying about the pendulum swinging back and forth. The 50s and doo-wop were a thing, but they gave rise to psychedelia. And we got the Jefferson Airplane and the Grateful Dead and the Doors and that whole Hammond B3 organ thing. And it was very downtrodden and very depressed. Acid rock. You got fucking Iron Butterfly and all these bands.
Crosby.
And yes, David Crosby and a lot of very downtrodden, depressing, political, nonsensical music that we didn't dig.
Disco came along and it was a party.
And then after disco, we got that shitty fucking corporate middle of the road, Captain and Tennille and Walter Egan and fucking Boz Scaggs and like just shit, Juice Newton and stuff that was just fucking bleh. And then hard rock happened.
Then
Kiss came along and Aerosmith
Black Sabbath.
and AC/DC, and then it happened. And then that sort of faded
Halen.
away. And then that sort of faded away, and we got the Clash and the Sex Pistols and the Police and the Jam, and that became its own. That was its grunge of its day. It was angry, and it was anti-party, and it was political and fucking mad and anti-establishment. And then after that, we got glam rock. And then after glam rock, we got fucking, hip hop. And that pendulum does swing back and forth. So at some point, it's going to swing back, but there's no difference between Dirty Honey and Humble Pie. They're the same fucking thing. Everything comes full circle.
Even at least hip hop, you got to at least respect rap and hip hop for one thing. They're having fun. They're having a party down at the club, making it rain in here. Look at the shorties, asses on my hose.
But they're not all having fun. But they're not all having fun. Dude, fucking Boogie Down Productions wasn't having fun. Ghetto Boys weren't having fun. Not all of those bands are having fun. Some of those bands are writing. NWA wasn't having fun. They were fucking pissed.
Yeah, but they were cool.
I know. I understand that. And there's a group of people.
I'd rather sit in with them being pissed than being depressed. And that's the difference between rap and grunge.
Maybe for you. Now, I would agree with you. I think that second level of grunge bands was obnoxious. I hate Sponge and Bush and there's just a whole bunch.
Every girl at a Pearl Jam concert had a huge bush. That's another thing that's different.
Third Eye Blind.
In the 80s, those girls are clean shaven.
But see, I can trace.
Tonic.
I can trace.
I didn't say tonic.
I can
hairy
trace
armpits at a Pearl Jam concert.
I can trace all four of the big four grunge bands back to rock bands. Those are rock bands. They're all rock bands.
Well, they're started, like I said, I mean, you could trace Pantera back down to being a glam band. Everyone started somewhere and evolved into
my point is Pearl Jam is the Who of their generation. No pun intended. Pearl Jam goes all the way back to the Who and the Doors. That's what gave birth to Pearl Jam. Same thing with Nirvana. That goes back to sort of the Doors. You know, you can trace Soundgarden back to Zeppelin. You can trace Alice in Chains back to Zeppelin and Black Sabbath. It all evolved to a certain point, and those are all rock bands. What came after, they created quote unquote grunge, but fucking Neil Young created grunge with Crazy Horse in the 70s, and King's X is a grunge band. If you listen to that shit, it shares all kinds of DNA with grunge. It's grunge mixed with the Beatles. Fucking awesome. King's X is one of my favorite bands of all time, but there are certainly elements of discord and grunge in King's X music. Those guys they're great fucking bands. There's room for all of them. And somebody pointed out Rage Against the Machine. Rage Against the Machine is the greatest of the rap rock bands. Rage Against the Machine did for that new metal thing what Led Zeppelin is to hard rock. Rage Against the Machine is the epitome, the zenith of that, the melding of metal and hip hop. They're the greatest of those bands. They're fucking outstanding.
There is room for every band, and the room for the grunge bands is the trash room, and the room for Motley Crue is the bedroom. Bring on the girls. Let's have fun, because that's where Motley Crue puts me. That's why I'm saying I'm putting a period on that conversation. So, let's see.
Yes, if you really want to go check out Pearl Jam, they're actually playing a show at the Forum in April.
I don't.
Just in case you want to. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Pearl Jam, I would sooner do a headstand. I would sooner do a headstand after eating a day full of beans and prunes, and just saying, be a diarrhea fountain dripping into my own mouth.
All I'm saying,
Pearl Jam concert.
All I'm saying is Pearl Jam does what a band should do. They schedule a tour. They play shows.
Say good night and leave the stage.
They play shows. They cash checks. They do exactly what they're. Yeah, and that's fine. But guess what? They don't need you. Whereas Motley Crue does.
I don't need that.
Motley Crue needs you.
I'm coming, Motley. I'm coming.
Because Motley Crue.
Red Fox. I'm coming, Elizabeth.
Just so you know, Vince Neil is playing clubs that he can't sell out. Eddie Vedder is sold out around America right now.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Good news is I won't be at those depressing, miserable, terrible, unshaven concerts. There you go.
But you're talking back in the day.
But you do know, like what Paul's saying, the next generation of hair metal stuff will eventually show up. And
maybe it started already.
Small bands all the time that are doing, like when The Darkness came out, it was like,
Greta Van Fleet,
it's a hair
Dirty
metal
Honey.
band. And, yeah.
Greta Van Fleet, Dirty Honey, Heat, Crazy Lick.
The Struts.
They're already up there. They're already starting.
Yeah.
They're
so
already
you can
starting.
Still find that in new music, the genre that we all enjoy.
I want to find fun in new music. I want to find fun. I want music to be energy and fun and great. Something I want to listen to, not something I just wrote a suicide note to and play as I'm cutting along the dotted line.
Do you have The Darkness? Any of that stuff on CD? The
I do have the
darkness?
darkness, actually. Yeah.
Paul's got that stuff too, I bet.
Yeah.
But that was like
Yeah.
20 years ago.
When you hear a band say, yeah, we only sold like 3 copies and my mother bought one of them, Paulie and I bought the other 2. So just endless amounts of CDs we bought. Oh, that's funny. Poo Ninja says my family puts the fun in funeral. There you go. Thank you, Poo Ninja. Let's just briefly talk about let's see. 2023 will be the last Kiss cruise with a K, just FYI, and just letting you know. So if you're planning on going to see the last Kiss cruise, you better start buying your tickets for 2023. It'll go on sale soon. If it's not on sale already, I can expect Vinnie Vincent in the dinghy being towed behind, seeing if he could get on board. So, and by the way, it is also time for Show and Tell Guitar. Brought to you by Swiss Picks, the greatest gripping guitar pick out there. Swiss Picks with raised holes for her pleasure. With raised holes to get your grip on. Get the best grip possible in playing with Swiss Picks. Check out the Jason Becker Blue Cheese Edition, because we do love Jason, friend of the show, friend of Swiss Picks. But get your hands on one of these and you will not turn back to a regular guitar pick. Just give one a try. I love these. Swiss Picks. Check them out. Also brought to you by Johnny. What was your favorite snack at the Super Bowl? There was a lot of things. It was chicken wings and nachos, but your favorite, the one that everyone was fighting over. Hey, man, Kuda, do you got any more of that delicious Colonel's Gourmet popcorn? That's the one everyone wanted. That's the one my mother was reaching over. Can you please pass the delicious Colonel's Gourmet popcorn? That's the one. Delicious Colonel's Gourmet popcorn.
Stuff Dane was eating like 10 minutes ago.
Oh, yeah. And during the Super Bowl, oh, my God. Who could ask for anything more? You had a great Super Bowl game. You had delicious Colonel's popcorn and more. You probably had some of those delicious chocolate cashews. You probably had some sugar-free candy. You probably had some regular candy. And I'll bet if you were smart, you mentioned Johnny Beane or Jay Hannon's name. Say that you heard them on the channel. And lo and behold, they will send you more delicious product, more popcorn, more candy, more chocolate, more sugar-free candy, whatever you need.
More fun.
That's what they would have sent you. Delicious Colonel's Gourmet popcorn and more. Good night, Dane. Also brought to you by.
Good night, Paul.
Paul is going to watch the guitar from afar.
No, I'm here. I'm here. I'm just. Yeah, I'm here. I'm just I'm texting
Letting
back
us
and
go
forth
through
with
the sponsors.
I'm getting going back and forth to Jay Hannon. He's returning a guitar that I was going to sell him.
Nice.
Oh no.
Nice. Johnny, let's continue the sponsors so we could get to the guitar.
Hey.
You know also brought to you by What? What were you going to say, Johnny? What? Change your life? What?
I was going to say I love Tessie Switch.
I love Tessie Switch too. We'll jump right to them. Tessie Switch, the greatest guitar kill switches out there. You want a Tessie Switch if you want a kill switch. Those are the most durable, reliable guitar kill switches out there. And they have all different types. You want the large arcade style ones. You want the small little button ones. You want light up ones. You want custom ones. Tessie Switch is the guitar kill switch that you want on your guitar. Go to Tessie Switch and check out what they have for you. Also check out, if you want to adjust your tone, check out, look what I'm raising, Johnny, Vinum Custom Pickups. Maker of the Mancuda Custom, Vinum Custom Pickups. Craig Vinum is a boutique pickup winder and will make you whatever you want. If you tell him you want to change the tone in your Les Paul to something really mimicking a 59, he will do that for you. You want something less muddy, you want something like a JB but less muddy, he'll make that for you. They will make you special colors, special orders. Vinum Custom Pickups, hand wound boutique, high quality pickups. Vinum custom pickups. That's the ones you want. Call Craig Vinum. See what Vinum custom pickups can do for your tone. And then, of course, Johnny, if you want to hot rod your guitar, where do you go? Where's the place that I could get all the things? Like if I want a custom bridge and titanium saddles and custom tuners and noiseless springs. I mean, I really want to hot rod my guitar. Johnny, where would you send me?
I go to fu-tone.com.
fu-tone. That's what I thought. fu-tone is the store that gives you all the custom hot rod stuff. They even have complete guitars. If you want something hot rodding, a little adjustment, a little upgrade to your already beautiful guitar, they've got it for you. fu-tone.com. And of course, fu-tone has their own parts. They have other manufacturers' parts. They have full guitars. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. It's wonderful. It's an fu-tone pickup.
Pickups, bridges.
They have everything. They have everything.
Do they have FU John pickups?
And my mother makes those hand wound.
Oh.
Fu John. That's the sound every time the other team scored, because we were rooting for the LA Rams, but every time the Bengals scored, and it's going. He's down to the 15. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. Hits. Yeah, the team. And a touchdown. Anyway, though, Mama Kuda liked today's show and tell guitar. The clue today for today's show and tell guitar was it's two very distinctly different tones. Now, of course, that could mean anything. But as soon as Johnny clears the screen of this
Bad and
wonderful
worse.
thing, to the turns. Oh, there it is. Oh, there he is. There's Johnny. Ladies and gentlemen, two very distinct, different tones.
And he's frozen.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No.
And the
Johnny,
winner
if you
is.
please. If you please. Oh, look at that thing. Ooh. Let's see if we could. Let's see. Hold on. Let me move this out of the way. Hold on. Let's see. There's that. How's that, Mr. Beane? Or should I get in close? I'll get in close like that. How about that?
Here, let me do this.
Crap.
How do you do that? Oh, wait.
Crap.
1 second.
That's all it takes me to come, Johnny.
All right, got it.
Okay. This is a 1988 BC Rich Gunslinger. You guys know I love these. I have a lot of them. So you're going to see these come up on the show more than once in a while. BC Rich Gunslinger, 1988. This one in two-tone snakeskin. This one a beautiful pink and white two-tone. Get it? Two-tone. And it also has a two-tone pickup. It's got a zebra pickup in it. Really, really cool. I love these things. These are very fast-playing, amazing neck guitars. This one has a Duncan. I believe this is a Duncan JB in there. That's
Johnny
in
Beane.
there. It's a Duncan Johnny Beane. That's specifically what it is. And of course, you have the licensed Floyd and an angled pickup. This is really all you need. This is all business. This is why I love these things. The nature of these guitars is all business. Very fast maple neck, reverse pointed headstock with that badass BC Rich script logo that I love so much. Super slick, thin D-shaped neck. Look how thin that beauty is. And this awesome carved cutaway at the heel that I just love. Give you that upper fret access, which is really great. But I have a weakness for the snakeskin gunslinger specifically. I want one in like every color I can find. Same with the Nagel graphics. This is one of my favorite graphics too. I just love when I can get them in all different colors. And, you know, I think I told this story before on the air, is when I first started getting an electric guitar back in 1988, the first guitar that caught my eye in the store was a 1988 gray snakeskin BC Rich Gunslinger. And I reached for it, and my buddy, who was in a pro playing band called Motor Mouse, who was touring with Cheap Trick at the time, I asked him to come with me to buy my first guitar, and he's like, fuck that stupid guitar. You look like an idiot. Get a man's guitar. So he was of the school, you either want a Fender Stratocaster or a Gibson Les Paul. And I basically liked the feel of a Strat initially, and that's what I wound up getting as my first guitar, Fender Strat. And I soon realized, well, I like the sound of humbuckers better than single coils, and the neck on a Fender Strat wasn't that fast. So my second guitar was a Kramer Beretta. But I digress. The first guitar that caught my eye in the store was a gray snakeskin BC Rich Gunslinger. And I have one now. But, you know,
You have only one?
Yeah, I have one. But I have a lot of snakeskin graphic gunslingers because it's nostalgic for me, and I just love. Obviously, pink is my color, but I love how flat and squared off the top is on these. Also, I think that's really cool. They're very lightweight, very fast guitars. But what makes these special is the neck. These gunslinger necks are so great. They are USA made. And again, just the combination of one pickup, a Floyd, and a very fast maple neck with graphics, that's like my favorite type of guitar. That's like what does it for me, is that type of guitar. And the Gunslinger graphics, most of them were done by Dan Lawrence, a couple by Glenn Matasiel. But this is like the epitome of the 80s guitar. Pointy headstock, humbucker pickup, Floyd, fast maple neck. I just love this. Really clean, but a nice broken in maple neck. Love to take care of them. And I have probably about 8 snakeskin gunslingers of different colors, but this particular one, I really like the pink two-tone. Really, really cool. Love them, love them, love them. And there you go. 1988 BC Rich Gunslinger in two-tone pink snakeskin. That is this week's show and tell guitar of the week. There you go. Johnny with us? Holy shit. Johnny's typing fast and furious. Wow. All right. While Johnny's doing that. There we go.
I was just making my first Facebook post that I'm out of jail.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Somebody posted, Paul's out of Facebook jail.
Yeah, I'm out of Facebook jail.
Ooh.
It's not in tune.
It's not.
You'll be playing the cruise next year.
That's not. Yeah, I'll be playing that cruise. All right. You win nothing if you can name what I was just playing, but I'm also in an armchair, so a little hard to even hold the guitar. But thank you, Lindy Lynch. Yes, it is out of tune. Yes. Sorry, that apologies.
It was
It's the guitar, I swear.
Weren't you the guy that was just bad mouthing Pearl Jam?
I wasn't playing Pearl Jam.
No, you certainly weren't.
Does anyone know what I was just playing, by the way?
I do.
And yeah, Jesus Rapes Me. I do use the whammy bar, not that much, but when I do, I mean, I keep them in the case anyway. I don't put them on, specifically to show. Johnny, you actually know what solo that was?
Oh, that was a solo?
That
That was I mean, what it sounded like to me was crap. Metallica, right?
No. I don't even know if I was playing it loud enough for people to actually hear it.
You
Yeah, I was
again?
playing Jeremy. Can't Drive 55. Jeremy's walking class today.
Michael B. Michael B.
No, it's kind of an obscure thing. Does anyone honestly know what I was playing?
Sherman Callahan.
I can't even.
Michael B. Sherman
Not
Callahan.
even
Shout
sitting in
out.
the right spot, but
Shout outs.
shout outs.
Can we name what you're going to play? Or
No, let's
try to play.
That's it. Does anyone know that?
Play it faster.
I'll play the next one. Let's see if anyone knows that. Can you actually hear it?
Play it one more time.
Unfortunately.
Center Hill Cards has it. Yeah, I know it's not in tune. There you go.
That pickup sounds amazing.
It's Turbo Lover.
Yeah. Center Hill Cards got it though, and Mark Dillon got it.
It's terrible, Lover.
Yeah. What song was John butchering? That'll be a new segment to the show every week. What song is John butchering?
What song is it supposed to sound like?
Yeah.
What song is John butchering on an out-of-tune guitar that's not plugged in?
I've literally never heard the solo before, but I'm like trying to pick it out now in my head. Yeah, that's not in tune.
It's close as you're gonna get right now. What was I just playing? You've got to get that. We're going to get flagged so flat. Actually, we won't get flagged because I'm butchering it. So
Gonna.
Does anyone know what I was just playing just now?
Nope.
Paul, you don't even honestly recognize it?
I know, because I need to hear it again.
Let me even put the mic next to it.
Thank you. Where's my pick?
Dueling banjo sounds better when you can't play it.
No, what was I playing before Dueling Banjos, though? This one you should know, actually.
Yeah, I don't remember this.
have no
Yeah,
idea
that's
what
it.
you're trying to do.
No, Flintstones is wait. Yeah, that's appropriate. Hold on. I'm in a really bad position right now. I'm a really bad player in a really bad position.
Yeah, this is awful. When I feel good, when I want to feel good about my playing, I'll just watch John play.
Okay.
And with that, it's bedtime.
Yes. Good night. Back to Facebook. But hey, in actual real music news.
Wait, let me get my earpiece in.
Oh, you can't hear us.
There you go. Now I'm better.
In actual music news, did you hear about who sold their musical catalog for $300 million?
Give it to me.
Did you hear who did that?
I'm not sure if I did or didn't.
Oh crap.
You're butchering it too.
Well, I'm out of tune because I was playing along with you.
I'm out of tune also. Thank you, G. Bushnell.
$300 million.
By the way, I was noodling around to the Steve Eyes. The audience is listening. That was that middle song I was playing. Was the audience is listening? So the police sold theirs for $300 million.
Sting did.
So is it the police? Is it the police catalog that got sold for $300 million, or
It's Sting, everything he did.
including the police? Does he own the writing for the police?
Of course.
I mean, does he own like a portion of it, or does he have like the full rights to the catalog?
I would think, John B, I'll wake up. I would think he's most of it is him. Because they had their own publishers. You look at a police record. You ever look at your police record, John?
Do I?
If you look at police albums, they have like 3 different. I think they had all their own publishers going, but I would think Sting would have the most. He was the main writer of all that.
Okay,
stuff.
no, because I wasn't sure what Andy wrote in those, and what, or I should actually say what he owns. I wasn't sure what Andy owns versus what Sting owns.
Right. Well, Sting was the main writer. Yeah.
Okay.
300 million.
So did that 300 go all to Sting? Is what I'm asking.
I would think not totally, but I would think yes, probably.
Huh. Wow.
'Cause he was the main
John,
writer.
why don't you have 300 million?
But it wasn't just the police.
That's what I'm going to ask. That's what I'm going to ask.
Solo. It was his solo.
That's what I'm going to get
stuff as well.
asked by Mama Kuda tomorrow. Why don't you have $300 million for all the work you've done? That's what's going to happen. I'm going to get asked that tomorrow morning.
Why weren't you in a band with Sting?
Yeah, why aren't you? You Johnny and Paul, you guys were in Popcorn the band with Blue Rhino and JoJo the Chimp. Why didn't you sell the Popcorn the band catalog? How much can you get for that? I'm thinking I don't think we could get $3 for that.
You'd have to pay them $3 for that.
Pay them $3 to take all of Popcorn's singles. It's really funny. Popcorn the band will get in. We'll get in the band, Johnny, before before Judas Priest and Iron Maiden. Isn't that sad? I'm
No,
thinking that's probably accurate.
That's pretty cool.
No, it's not. No, it's not. That's terrible.
Why is everybody leaving? We're not done.
Who's everybody? Just Paul and Dane.
Mm-hmm. No, half the audience left.
Paul and Dane. They did? I'm seeing 100 people. Well, I'm seeing 100 people in the chat, I should say. We don't know how many thousands are watching on their own, but in the chat, there's 100 people. Keith Campbell wants to know, has Blue Rhino gotten any residuals? Yeah, for the songs we wrote, sure. You know, I mean, we're in legal battle with JoJo the Chimp over residual money. You know, because, you know, some of us, you know, there's always one ego in every band, and in our band it was JoJo the Chimp. But, you know, Paulie, Johnny, myself, and Blue Rhino, we stuck together. You know. But look, we didn't get 300 million, and I'm sure Mom's going to question tomorrow. You know, all your comedy material, all the, you know, your show residuals. Why don't you sell all that for 300 million? I mean, you know, you've done this Fakakta show for a couple of years. I mean, you've got to have a couple of million in residuals for that alone. Really? I don't know. No, Quentin James. We're talking about the Police, how they sold their catalog for $300 million.
Sting sold it.
Sting sold it.
Sting sold it.
So
That's
do the other band writers, other band members get any of that?
I would think, yeah, for the stuff that they wrote, yes. Yes, but Sting was the main writer for all those years.
But I'm just wondering, out of that 300 million, is that all going to Sting?
I would think no, but I would think most of it, yes.
I'm just looking. High Watt Steve says, it's a shame that Andy Summers' estate will now get nothing for a lick he created and saved the song for Sting. Even Copeland busts on Sting for it. Gretch Zeppelin wants to know, have I ever done any voiceover work? Yeah. I was a couple of characters on Marvel Super Squad, the cartoon, and I did some early radio commercials for products. So yeah, I've done, and let's see, I also was on a TV show in Australia.
Was that the black and white
called
one?
the Wilkinsons? Yeah, the Wilkinsons.
I watched those. There was like five of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I did voiceover for that show. I did voiceover, and I did the intro. The Wilkinsons. Yeah,
I watched
that.
I've
I've
done. That was a crazy show.
That was a crazy show. But you know what's funny? Australia has been very good to me, and shout out to all the Aussies and New Zealand too, the Kiwis. They also got that. I don't know how some of that stuff gets made, but they've brought me on. They've paid me for it, and the Aussie market, I did some good work there. So, you know, that the Enter the Hamster film, they paid me a good amount of money and benefits for that. And then, it's a porn. Enter the Hamster. Was that the one with the hamster's little legs dangling out your anus? Is that the one? No, Ma. That was a comedy. But it's a comedy film I did in Australia. But yeah, no, I did. But I was on the TV show The Wilkinsons in Australia too for voiceover. So that was fun too. Thank you, High Watt Steve. I appreciate that. So there you go. Yeah, I have done voiceovers as well. But Enter the Hamster, that was a full movie role. But yeah, and Marvel Super Squad, of course, you know, I was Flatman, I was Zax, I was, you know, obviously, you know, they give you random voices. When you do voiceovers, you know, they give you like you'll read for one of the main characters, then they'll give you secondary characters, and then, you know, pedestrian number 2, and, you know, they try to, you know, give like, you know, 5 to 8 actors all the extra parts as well, so you're not bringing in 100 people to do that.
Yeah,
but that was fun. I mean, I was supposed to be Snarf on a newer version of Thundercats, and it was really cool because I remember the auditions, and they gave me a couple of callbacks that kept coming back, and I know it got down to 4 of us for the role. And one of them was Tom Kenny, who does SpongeBob, and he's one of the greatest voice actors ever. Another one was Mark Hamill, who's obviously Luke Skywalker, and he's the Joker.
Did you meet him?
And, I no. Well, I've met Mark Hamill before, but not at that particular.
He wasn't there at the same time you were, right?
No, they bring you in. I mean, Tom Kenny I met because I worked with him on Marvel Super Squad, but for Thundercats, they bring you in auditions. They, you come in at 2:00, the next guy comes at 2:10, the next guy's 2:15, the next guy's 2:20, and so they, when you get called back, you might see each other in passing, but you're not there together unless you're in the same casting room and they're like, okay, you guys will be calling you in one at a time. Sometimes that happens too. But in this particular instance, I just knew, because I knew one of the people, working on that project, and he's like, hey, he's quietly keeping me abreast of this. And he's like, hey, they got it down to 4 guys. It's like you, Tom Kenny, Mark Hamill, and I forgot who the other person was. But at the end of the day, they cast me. No, I was the guy that got it. I got Snarf, and I'm like walking around town. I'm like, Snarf, Lion, Mama's coming. I mean, I'm walking around like playing Snarf. I'm like looking in the store for Snarf action figures and maybe a stuffed Snarf for my shelf, huh?
I don't even know what a Snarf is.
Snarf is okay. There's the Thundercats. You have Lion-O, Chitara, Panthro. You guys remember the Thundercats, right? In the audience. Big cartoon.
I remember the cartoon in the 80s. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. They brought it back in another version, and I was supposed to be Snarf, and I'm all excited to be Snarf, because it's like, that's a legacy, that's a legacy franchise. I mean, certain things from the 80s, G.I. Joe, Transformers, Thundercats, He-Man, you remember those. So to get a role on Thundercats, I was like real excited. There you go. That was going to be me. You can see the resemblance is uncanny. Yes, Snarf. Yes, Snarf. Yeah. Oh, Lion. Oh, Chitara ran off in the jungle. We got to go get her. Snarf. Yeah. So, but that was the character. So I was supposed to be that little guy. And at the last minute, they pulled the plug on the project. Probably when they found out I was cast as Snarf. They're like, this will never work, man. Kuda's part of it. But that was it. So I was supposed to be Snarf, which, look, if you remember He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, they had Orko, which was like the comedy relief. And that's what Snarf was. Snarf was that comedy relief character of the Thundercats, I love that. So I was all excited. And then, the project got pulled, and they were supposed to change it to a live action movie. And, I had no guarantees to be in that. So, they probably would have gotten a bigger name, and that never happened either. They pulled the plug on that too. So, but I'm sure they'll bring
costume.
Yeah, I know, right? No, it's an animated show, but I'm sure they'd CG Snarf, and nowadays the problem with voices is they try to choose like bigger name A-list actors to be characters in cartoons, which is wild, because it's like, it used to be voiceover guys mostly did voiceover, and, screen actors mostly did screen. And I basically, wanted to do whatever I could get my foot into the door of. So I learned both. And I've done both. But when it comes to nowadays, like when they do, a Disney movie, they're not doing the voice actors so much. They're like trying to get Brad Pitt as Peter Pan, and, all the A-list, Meryl Streep as Tinkerbell, and all the big names to sell a project. So can't try 55, man. Could have got Jar Jar. They just shut me up. No, but I still, I still do voiceover. I don't have anything in the works right now, because right now I've been concentrating on movies. I've been blessed to work movies lately. So I think the next project I'm going to audition for is a movie, unless something new comes up. But false flag. What's really funny? What's funny, False Flag, who's in Australia, says you would be mobbed if you came to Oz. Yeah, people would be like banning me at the airport. There'd be an angry mob. You sucked, Mancuda. You sucked. You sucked it. You're a sneaky butcher. I was slipping your meat in the rear. No, I have a lot of friends in Australia and New Zealand. And you know, when you go to another country to work and you have an accent, it's like bringing, you know, for you Americans, if an Australian guy came over here, you know, girls would be like, ooh, what a cool accent. It's the same thing in Australia. You stick out and you get a lot of attention. You know, of course, their husbands are, you know, chasing after me with torches and pitchforks. Get him, get the sheep shagger, you know, but
Keep away from our sheep.
yeah. You get away from our sheep. Put away your Velcro gloves. You and your Velcro gloves, you bastard. Well, it's so they don't get away. Stephen Franklin says, would I rather do movie or TV? I've done both, probably in equal amounts. I think personally, I'd rather do TV more because it's more consistent work. You know, when you're on a show, you're just constantly working episode for episode for episode, versus a movie. It's like, okay, you're working for a month and here's the schedule, and you're basically getting down like somewhere between 90 minutes and 2 hours of show, you know, of movie basically, versus a TV show. I would that regular weekly gig. You know, Hollywood Treasure, we worked like through the year. For those that watched Hollywood Treasure on Sci-Fi, I was one of the principal cast members in that. And, you know, you just work through the year, and I love that steady work. And it's not that I don't love movies, because I do. Obviously, look, I love every job I get, low paying or high paying. And the idea is that, you know, a movie, after a month, you could jump onto the next movie and jump onto the next movie if those movie roles are available to you, because it's really hard to get work. You know, TV show, you have consistent work. You're working this whole season. Great. You know, but a movie, it's like you're always looking for the next project. So, you know, I'd rather do TV, but I'd take anything. I take everything, voiceover, you name it. I'm thrilled when I get work at all, you know? So there you go. Jesus Rapes Me says, is voiceover easier than TV shows? I guess it is. Yeah, it's got to be, because you know what? When you do voiceover, you're basically showing up. You could show with your hair all tousled in your pajamas, and just you go into the sound booth and you got some honey and some cough drops and some water, and you just basically, you know, get your voice warmed up, and then you go at it. And there's the script in front of you, and you're, you know, getting animated so that the words come out like this and this and this. And, you know, you're doing it. You don't have to look good. TV, you gotta do your hair, you gotta shower, you gotta dress a certain way or go to wardrobe, you gotta get your makeup, you gotta, you know, it's different. And then you gotta learn your lines because you're on camera. When you're doing voiceover, your lines are on this piece of paper, clipped to a board in front of you, and you're reading them. You can't forget them. They're right fucking in front of you. So there you go. Which, you know, voiceover definitely easier than TV shows. But look, it's you know, it's also a skill like anything else. It's a skill. You know, you have vocal coaches that you learn from, and you know, you learn techniques of making character voices, and more so animating them so that they sound good on a microphone. Like I said, if I just did this and I'm doing this and I'm saying, oh my God, Peter, where are you going? And my arms aren't waving, I'm not animating my voice. You can hear the difference from, oh my God, Peter, where are you going? You know, it does produce a different sound, you know, when you're using your body language to animate the voice, it's coming through the mic that way. So, yeah, I mean, everything's a skill, but and it's not, Keith Campbell, it's not snark, it's snarf. Snark is a tuner for guitars. Snarf was Let's see. Snarf was Thundercats. Kentra 55. Do I know Tara Strong? I do not. Not off the top of my head on name. Sherman Callahan. Were you on Saturday Night Live, and what year? Yes, I was. I was what was known as a featured extra, meaning you're not one of the main players. You're not one of the main actors. You're not one of the cast. You're that extra that's not in the background. You're that extra that's in the middle of the action with the main actors. So, there was one episode with Jennifer Aniston. I'm her cameraman and I'm her reporter and she's my cameraman. As part of the skit. So I'm in the main action, but I don't have any lines other than, or whoa, or, one word omni lines or something like that. So yeah. And that was, years. I think it was 99. I started when Will Forte started, 1999 through, I think maybe 2005, I want to say. 99 to 2005, I think, because I was there for 6 years every week. And that was a cool gig because you're getting your feet wet. You're getting your feet wet in front of a live audience and you're live on the air in front of millions of people too. So that was like a very cool place to get some learning experience in the TV world.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Bri the Sign Guy, how many times do they make you repeat your lines in voiceover? It depends. It depends on what you're doing and who wants you to try something different. You'll go in. When I was doing Super Squad, I went in with the idea of Flatman being a certain way, and I had rehearsed all my lines, so I'd have the cadence and everything of a certain way I was going to read it. And they're like, can you try it a little older? Okay, so I got to try it a little different. Can you try it? Can you do a Ben Stein voice? Yeah, I could do a Ben Stein voice. Okay, do it sort of like a version of Ben Stein, but more excitable. Okay, I could do that. So they'll have you try different things if they don't like what you're doing. Yeah. Have you slept with Ben Stein?
Can you give us his number?
Mancuda. Yeah, no, so but then again, even if it's like a radio commercial and they want you to read something a certain way, they'll change it. They'll just take a different take. They want more energy, less energy, tone it down, pretend you're talking to your aunt, telling her about the muffins. Something like, these are moist versus, okay, John, how would you say them to your mother? And she's sitting right next to you. So not as excited, but you're happy. These are moist. Okay, John, say it as if you're so excited. You're yelling to the guy across the street. You don't even know him. These are moist. They'll have you try all different things. And sometimes they just, you'll drop a letter or you'll drop a word a different way they want. You'll drop a letter in a different, accent than they want you to, or, read it with a certain way. So you could get it on the first 1 or 2 or 3 tries, or you could be asked to do it literally 50 times. And I've had both. So yeah, they can ask you to do it as many times as they're paying for. They're the clients. So especially on a commercial. Let's see. Just looking through the audience. Interesting questions. What's it like to write skits on SNL? I don't know, because I never got to do it. I did quietly drop a few suggestions in people's ears when I was there. Just like, I'm not going to mention names, but like other main cast members that I was friends with that I talked to later. Hey, that bowling sketch? Wouldn't it be funny if you kissed the other actor at that moment, like actually kissed? And it's like, yeah, that would be kind of funny, and one or two suggestions were taken. But I never got to, because you're writing skits on SNL. That's all the main cast members. When you're the extra, you shut up, you go back to the green room, and you just wait for them to say, okay, come on in. Even the featured, I mean, we weren't treated any different, just a little bit higher pay, but that was it. Do I write my own material? When I do, yeah. When I write, bits for this show, or when I did stand-up comedy, or things like that, yeah, I always wrote my own material. Let's see. What's the best job you had movie-wise? Movie-wise, so that excludes TV. Movie-wise, movie. Well, Ivan Reitman cut most. Ivan Reitman cut my most of my part out of Eurotrip.
We didn't talk about.
Yeah, but I mean, I'll just tell the story real quick. I was cast as a part in Eurotrip, and you could still see me in the movie, but now I'm in the background, and I get residual checks from the movie because I still had a speaking part in it, but I had a speaking part that initially wasn't cut from the movie. It made the last edit, and then Ivan Reitman said, "You know what? The movie's 20 minutes too long. Let's cut out some more," and I was part of that more. Like I said, you can still see me in there, but I love that movie because it was a great movie. It was fun. And they flew me to the Czech Republic for a month and a half to film. So it's like, my trailer was next to Matt Damon's trailer, and, I was friendly with him, and that was fun. And you got to explore Europe and, get paid good money for that. So probably I would probably say Eurotrip. I could also say Enter the Hamster because I was like one of the principal stars in that movie, and they flew me to Australia, paid me a great amount of money. And I was also there in Australia and New Zealand for a month and a half, and the Aussies and Kiwis are great. So, take your pick. I mean, look, every job's great for some reason. When you're working, you make friends, you're traveling, you're getting paid to do the stuff that you love. I mean, but I mean, I love every gig I've done. There's not one that I regret. Not even that kiddie porn one. Well, there's
Oh my gosh.
yeah, oh my gosh. My mother's upstairs. No. Let's see. Yeah, so rest in peace, Ivan Reitman. I forgive you for cutting my my scenes out. Yeah. But anyway, thank you for the questions. Keith Campbell, I was paid extremely well for Lost. Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, like, look, some gigs you do for next to nothing or back end or whatever, depending on how much you love the product. But Lost paid extremely well, even for the minor recurring role I was in. I mean, I was paid a great amount of money, and they paid all my expenses in Hawaii for a year, including food and an incredible, hotel, penthouse room there. I mean, Lost was an insane budget. I don't even think they knew what to do with as much money as they were making. So, Alice Martinez, what commercials was I in? Radio commercials. Let's see. One was garbage disposal. Let's see.
Garbage disposal.
Yeah, no, I played a garbage disposal. It was, "Hi, I'm your garbage disposal. Some people throw away silverware accidentally." And I forgot what it was for. It was like for some cleanser. And then I did one for these were like all in the New York market. Trying to remember what some of the others were. I mean, I don't remember specifically. They weren't national ads. These were New York regional radio commercials, and there were only a couple of them. But I've never done like a lot of commercials. I mean, TV, little roles here and there. Films, same thing. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, the unrated version of Eurotrip is coming out again on Paramount Blu-ray in June 2022. That means I get another check. Thank you, David Mandel. So there you go. So that's good. You still probably won't see my scene. Let's see. Did I ever have to deal with Harvey Weinstein? Never met the man. Heard he was a scumbag. Enough said. Top fugitive on America's Most Wanted 2022. We all have goals, so let's hit them. Anyway, all right. It's the 3:30 mark. Let's give a thank you to, of course, our beloved audience. Sorry I didn't do roll call today. We just jumped right into it. Hope you had fun with us today. But look, big shout out to our audience. I gotta say, as I always say, we appreciate the hell out of you because you come here to have fun. We want to give that to you. We want to get you away and give you that escape from all the bullshit going on in the world right now. You know, and we thank you for coming here and spending it with us. So we really, really are grateful. And we leave a thumbs up on the video. Show us a little love. Leave comments on the video. We read them. When we have time, we reply to them. And thank you, Black Salami. We try to be consistent in sucking. And other shows set the bar here. We absolutely set the bar here. It's like a limbo contest. We always go under the bar for you guys. But we really, really do appreciate our audience. Thank you all so much. Let's thank our channel members specifically. Look at all those channel members. Good God, there's a lot of you. And we really appreciate it. We love it. Sending love back to you, Lindy Lynch. Thank you. Let's say thank you to our channel members. David Allen Wright, Mike Neese, Keenan Neighbors, Paul Martin Woods, Mr. Mick, Bubbly Dukakis, Smallmouth Guy, Lawrence Christensen, Symmetry, Majestic PB and J Cat, Warlag, Sherman Callahan, James 5150, James Gum, Wayno, Thomas Santiago, Vinyl Freak 5150, Dan Halen, James G, Music Therapy Laz, Andy Carson, Rick Green, The Chad, Christopher Live Sawa, All Dave, All Night, Murph Murphy, Steve Barton, Fernando Riley, Laguna Palms, Robot Master Switch, R2R3 Locking Nuts, 6 Chick 71, John Morana, Hillary Lewis, Jeff T, 5150 TV, Kurt 5150, KXM Rock, R. Habs, Stephen Franklin, Carol Hatcher, Sean Shreds, Margaret Scranton, Michael the Captain Smith, Jesus Rapes Me, Nicole Mrazek, Brian Spalding, False Flag, Ghost BC Rich, Hugh Caldwell, Jim Nicholas, Mr. BHB Jr., that's Bruce, Tommy Santiago, and my little, let's see, Lindy Lou and my little geriatric sex kitten Mary, Bo Zeke, and Steve Carmichael.
Steve Carmichael.
Why does it feel like I repeated one or two names? Are they on there twice? Did you
Nah,
double check your work?
Two of them rhyme.
Do they? Is that what
Yeah.
it is?
Two of them sound very similar. You read one, then you read the other, and you think you read the first one again.
Ah, that's terrible.
But thank you. And
Yes,
yeah, that
thank
Crosby guy quit. He's not here anymore.
David Crosby?
Yeah.
David Crosby is a dildo fucker. I still like saying it, though. I still like saying it. I don't care if he's here. The name still rings so true. Anyway, everyone, be nice. Be careful out there. Be nice to each other. Get vaccinated, please, so we can return to live music. If you haven't seen live music lately, let's go to some shows. Let's have some fun. And again,
Go see Pearl Jam.
Do not see Pearl Jam.
Their tour is selling out.
Pearl Jam is in my crusty sock right now under my bed. That's Pearl Jam.
Zach, I'll see you in a little bit, dude. Over
Johnny, you playing
on
GTA tonight?
Twitch. Subscribe, free with Prime. Yes, I'll be playing GTA after dinner, but more importantly, tomorrow.
Well, hold on. More importantly, give to Chris Holmes. He is raising money for his cancer charity, for himself, of course. Chris Holmes has cancer. There is a fundraiser going on GoFundMe. Help Chris Holmes kick cancer's ass. They're at the 11,410 euro mark. Their goal is 20,000 euros. Please give to Chris Holmes to help him in his cancer recovery and his cancer treatment. Please, please, please look it up on GoFundMe. Chris is a friend of mine. Chris is a good guy. And Chris has left his mark for any WASP fan or any rocker who watched Decline of the Western Civilization Part 2. make sure you donate even a couple of bucks to Chris Holmes for his cancer treatment. Let's make sure Chris kicks cancer's ass. Okay, Johnny, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
Yes. I was going to say that, but since you said it, after dinner, it's almost midnight. It's only almost 9 o'clock here. But you say, oh, Johnny, I know you do a Van Halen show on Friday, but man, I can't wait till Friday. Well, hey, follow me on Twitch. I'll be doing a Van Halen show tomorrow on Twitch. Talking Van Halen now on Twitch, Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern. So tune in.
Nice. And before I forget, I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm sorry I didn't do a roll call this morning because we really ran out. We really ran out the door, hit the ground running, and just got right into it today. But I have to say,
Pecani, 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 me love you long time.
And everyone else whose name I didn't read today, but will next week.
Yes.
And thank you for the outpouring of love to Mama Kuda, of course, my beloved mother. Mwah, love you, Mama. And thank you for everyone saying hello to Blue Rhino. Oh, hi, everybody. There you go.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Rock on.
Wash your hands. Eat your vegetables.
And we appreciate you. Remember that. We love our audience. Thank you.
And connect with me on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Good night. What was that?
Oh, so disappointing.